think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who wanted to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
Demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. Oh man, it's always an honor and a privilege to be able to speak some good old boxing talk. Got my main man, my main apple scrapple, AC in the building. What's good, AC? How you
What's
living?
good, bro? I'm good, man. I'm ready to chop this topic up because some wrinkles have unfolded. Like some things that happened in the past, some beefs that happened in the past, may be the type of thing that may change the dynamic, in my opinion, about this fight coming up with Teo and Shakur.
That's pretty interesting. Okay. How was your day, man?
Well, my day is going great, man. You know what I'm saying? Decided to rewrite things, because things you have them in your mind and you could say it out loud, but then when you start to try to put the shit to paper, you get some weird. It's just not reading right. So, with that being said, it's just I don't know. I'll figure it out. But the rewrite is coming around well.
Okay.
Yeah, let me figure out what's going on. You may have to tap out and jump back in because this avatar thing is acting up again, and it's showing up here.
Good. It's all good. Go ahead and do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
The Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster say body work. AC say salute. Cookie Monster say mic check 1 2 1 2. Ooh, sounding like greatness. That's what I like to hear. That I'm crystal clear. Well, my day is good, man. I'm in the second week of my I'm getting back to working out again. And Honeybee say salute body work. Yeah, I'm in my second week of working out. Starting to get that real energy. It don't take long for me to get really right back, man. I don't be seeing the results, but I be seeing the results. Because I know how to be effective at what I'm doing, but yeah, I'm feeling better. I'm getting more energy, starting to get that bounce back in my legs, man. When you work on them legs, man, you know how they say fatigue makes cowards of us all. Working on legs will fatigue you and make you a coward if you got anything to do with your legs. And I use my legs like all day, every day, so. Didn't really like legs working out when I was younger, but the older I get, the more important I understand that it is for your foundation, how stable you are. You know what I'm saying? The older you get, you pick up little tidbits of wisdom, man. I'm getting ready to touch 45 next weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend, ready to touch 45. Salute to all my Sagittarius out there. It's Sagittarius season. Legends are born in December. Don't let nobody convince you otherwise. I'm just playing, man. It's greatness born in every month, man. We just happen to be Sagittarius. But yeah, your thumbnail's working now. You see, you cooking with gas, brethren. But let's go ahead and get into the housekeeping, man, so that we can go ahead and have a great cook. Let's see. Number one, Xander Zayas says that glory and belts matter ahead of his unification on the 31st of January 2026. The same day as the topic of conversation, you actually have him and Abbas Baru. For those who don't know, this gentleman right here, because the landscape has changed. The landscape changeth. So these are the guys right now up there. So it'll be these guys right here. Be the second guy from the left with the WBO, which is Xander Zayas, and it'll be the guy on the far right, Abbas Baru, who has the WBA. And they just received those straps, and not even having defended yet, they're going right into a unification, which rarely happens, rarely happens. So obviously, you know, Top Rank trust in Xander. You know, the Puerto Ricans, they're pulling for Xander, man. He looked young and spry, and he sounds very mature. Sound like he coming to his own. A lot of people looked at him like he's the weakest link. I don't know. You know, I was kind of impressed. I didn't see him doing that, what he did to Chino Perez when he did it. Because Chino Perez, you know, kind of gave my man Charles Conwell, you know, some problems. And, you know, Conwell couldn't, well, he didn't. I ain't gonna say he couldn't, but he didn't adjust. Chino Perez wound up like really giving, like kind of like edging him out. It wasn't a beatdown, but, you know, he won it. It was no question that he won the fight. It was almost like the Subaru Matias and the Liam Paro, where it wasn't a beatdown, but it was like you can clearly see who the victor was. And in either way, it surprised me because both of them guys were boogeyman. But lo and behold, they had a plan. You know, Xander, like, you know, they really believed in him, and they got him like when he was real young. I think they got him when he was like 17. And so he had the privilege of coming up on Top Rank as like 17 years old and learning on the job, and, you know, and being groomed for greatness. And here it is. He finally got his chance. He really boxed. Like, I thought that, you know, Chino was going to crack him or hit him, but like Xander was like, oh, okay. He made me pump my brakes because it was one of them cases where he's not known to be a thrasher. He's not known to have much power, you know, even though any professional that line you up right and tee off on you, you know what I'm saying, can get you up out of there. But Xander's not, he doesn't base his game on power. You know, he showed he does have footwork and angles, and, you know, he can create space and attack and move, stick and move, you know. So he's gonna kind of like, you know, he's gonna make you work hard all night to pin him down. You know, you got to go to his body. You definitely got to go to his body. You got to try to make him put his hands in his pockets, and you got to, you know, whack away at that trunk so that them legs will slow down, you know, and try to get him in a phone booth or try to make him fight you. But he's another one of them guys where if you try to box with him too much and you're not really putting nothing on him and you can't cut the ring off, he's gonna rack up points, man. So I was impressed. You know, the last thing I seen with Abbas Baru was he upset the apple cart on Tejas. He kind of came out of nowhere for me, and, you know, I was impressed. I was like, man, I hope they don't rob the dude, you know, because I'm like, that was one of them things where I thought the business of boxing was gonna get in the way. But the judges surprised me and rendered the right decision. And Abbas Baru wound up beating Yoa and his tellers. And, you know, He gets the WBA, Xander gets the WBO, and here they are getting ready to set it off. And I agree with Xander. I just hope that it's not one of those things to where the language that he's speaking right now, the boxing tongue that he's using right now, where he's saying, glory is what matter. Belts matter. He was like, man, a lot of guys, they just fight. He's like, they just fighting to be fighting. He's like, man, we're fighting for something. There's titles on the line. This means something. I'm like, you better talk that this means something shit. You know what I'm saying? You better talk that motherfucking legacy talk. I mean, but I'm not gonna hold my breath because a lot of these guys, they start off, and I'm not saying that Xander do this. This is really an indictment on the sport, where a lot of guys start off talking about legacy and glory and stamping their resumes with meaningful fights where it's something on the line like a strap, only to fade away. It's only a few. Like my guy, he said, man, basically he's like, man, I want that bread straight off the rip. So I respect that. You know what I'm saying? He happened to do some legacy things along the way. People don't give him credit for. But I'm with it, man. Anything that's going to enhance the longevity of the sport, keep the sport going, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? So Zayas is, one of the new school. He's saying that he was, for 2 months, he was like the youngest champ until Abdullah got it. And he said he acknowledged that Abdullah deserved it. I was impressed by that, which means he's not a selfish champion. He doesn't want to hog all the glory. There's greatness, a little bit of greatness for everybody. So, I was, before the fight with Chino, and when he was looking at actually getting a fight with Virgil, I was all for it. Something happened along the line and he didn't get that fight, but I really wanted to see that. I wasn't sure if he was ready for Virgil, but I'm like, man, who am I, man? Who am I? I think seeing him box the way he do and knowing like that he's really working on his skill. He's growing. Bright future. He got a bright future, man. No matter what happens in the unification, I believe that he has, just like Brian Norman, you know what I'm saying? If he is to have a pitfall or whatever, I think that he's young enough to where he'll rebound. Plus, he has a whole demographic behind him that's thirsty for more stars. You know what I'm saying? Puerto Rican, they are some of the most avid fans, of people in their culture. And, a lot of them like Xander. They like what he brings. And he's one of them. He's not like a lot of these young guys that's all brash and, braggadocio and, King Kong ain't got shit on me. Xander is a breath of fresh air as well. I think he kind of gets swept up in the hoopla of all the drama, because everybody want to talk about all the drama, like what Bill and Devin said, or what Ryan said, or all of the drama. Like it always baffles me how people who always got something to say about legacy and legacy fighters, they never talk about the legacy fights. You know what I'm saying? They always wait and do that microwave where they sit back and listen to a bunch of other channels talk about it and do their breakdowns, and then they microwave that shit the night before they fight. But it always baffles me, all these legacy-minded people never talk about people like Xander. They never talk about people like Abbas Baru. They don't even go back and do no homework or no research. Now, before I do a show, I'm going to try to do my best, even if I don't know much about them. But I'm not a fake one, to where I'm not going to tell you all these glowing things about Abbas Baru like I really know the guy. I don't know him that much. I know what I seen. I went back and watched some highlights. Naturally, I'm pulling for Xander. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's one of ours. So I'm going to get behind him. But at the same time, I'm going to give Abbas Baru his salutes, and I'm going to give him his due diligence and get in the lab and actually really do an analysis and give them their own show prior to that fight, you know what I'm saying, that I think is going to be able to stand its own and stand the test of time, just like all of the shows that we do on Bodywork. But I like long story short, I like what Xander is saying. I like his mindset going into this. He's talking that glory. He's talking that the belts matter. I think he's going to do the right thing with the strap. However long he holds it, if he surprises. A lot of people, have him as the weakest champ, but he might surprise a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? He's willing to go to the smoke. I mean, he's one of them people that's willing to, he's running towards it. Obviously, the people behind him believe in him. So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? But I like what I like what he said. I like the interview, man. Go back and look at that interview with Xander. I was impressed, and I do think he kind of get forgotten about. Moving right along. Number 2, Fulton says he wasn't himself. If I was going to give my Captain Obvious award, then I definitely damn sure would have gave Fulton this goddamn Captain Obvious. Obviously, you wasn't yourself, or you know what? I take that back. Maybe you were yourself. Maybe you are just showing us who you are. Because I was looking at something where where you were saying basically when you lost the innerweight, it was the weight. And now you go over to another highly skilled guy who you was talking like was beneath you and like basically like everything but he was easy work, you know what I'm saying? Like, and now you wasn't yourself. Like, nah, you just gotta take ownership. You know what I'm saying? Just gotta take ownership, man. I know Brian Norman, he said something like, no, it was all me. Like basically it was my undoing. I like that, but like I wasn't myself. I don't know. Cause I tried to use that when I saw Tank and Lamont. I was like, man, he ain't, nope. Ain't nobody cut Tank no slack for not being himself. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that you gotta own up to, own the performance. Just like you should have owned the time when you lost the innerweight and the thing that was actually happening, man. And going forward, you can grow. But I don't really like that. You know what I'm saying? I like to hear that, okay, maybe I should have sat my ass down in the middle of the rounds, like in between rounds. Maybe I should have took that minute and rest my legs. You know what I'm saying? Relax my muscles, gave not only my mind something to rest because the counsel that you was getting wasn't quite right, but at least you could have got a little solace in your corner by resting and relaxing your body for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because he was in there putting belt to ass. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, man. I don't want to sound like I'm hating. That's why I'm not going to come out and do no full show. I'm not going to do no adversity university. Why? Because I don't want to hear them cats' mouth, man. Like, them cats, they love the glory. They love the praise. They love the honor. They love when people say, oh, man, you like that. Like, when, like all of the kudos you got for the outfit, all of those things, loving all of that kind of stuff. But when it comes down to, like, honest critiques and criticism, nah, they don't really like that shit. So I'm not really going to do it. I'm not buying it. I think that you went in there and for whatever reason, you underestimated that man. You fell short. You got spanked. In a way, you kind of got exposed because there was no, in my opinion, there were really no adjustments. All these gears and, I fought all these champions, and if I can do it all these different ways, like all these things, like in the build-up, and you got to think, man, we heard a lot of that shit. This was almost as tragic. It wasn't quite as tragic, but this was almost like the same thing when Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos was getting ready to fight. If y'all recall, that fight got pushed back 2 times. Teofimo came out and used that excuse. You know what I'm saying? He tried to say he was in there with one lung and, this and that. And we all saw that he came in there like a bull in the china shop, got over anxious, and George Kambosos pretty much caught lightning in the bottle, and he was able to spank T.O. And then when he dropped T.O. early, even though there was no drops in this one, he dropped T.O. early. T.O. dropped him late. And then going into the championship rounds, Kambosos showed up and T.O. faded. This was a thorough from start to finish, from A to Z, from alpha to omega, belt to ass. That's what this was. So I'm not buying it, man. I would I appreciate, especially from a champion like Fulton. I appreciate just give us the real deal, man. Just give us the real skinny. You know what I'm saying? Just pull our coattails to the real deal. Easily baked. Bodywork. Salute. Easily baked. So just be forthright, man. Like, just let's stop playing all the games. You know what I'm saying? We mature enough. It's just a loss. Like, you lost to the better man. Give your opponent some goddamn credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we see like the Highlanders, where like when there's like some predator shit going on where there can only be one, and you find yourself on the short end of the stick, just give that man, give somebody their credit. I know every time I lost the fight, I'd be like, yeah, man, he got me. Yeah, he grabbed me. He did this. Yeah, he got me. Yeah, he snuck me. Yeah, I gave motherfuckers their credit when they were able to get me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just me though. Yeah, like, yeah, you caught me that day. You know what I'm saying? You got me, man. You got me. You did your thing. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. I'll be back. That's just how I was. That's what I expect from my champions and my fighters. You know what I'm saying? Don't run us all around the mulberry bush, man. Just, you know, just tell the truth, man. Just tell the truth, man, and be forthright with us. And you know, I think you'll get more people will actually you appeal to more people like that, in my opinion. But there's no real room for excuses, in my opinion, man. Not like that. Not to where you don't really. I mean, I gotta see more. I'm waiting more. Maybe, you know, it hasn't sunk in yet. Sometimes, you know, when you go through all that training and all that, sometimes you need some time to step away, get your mind right before you answer. But I don't like the first thing I hear in the media. If you do come out in the media, is some shit like that. I just wasn't myself. That's all, man. I just wasn't myself. I like to hear a little bit more, you know, but that's just because I create content, man. And so sometimes I be having to research and read and look at this and promote. I be trying to help these guys, especially a guy like Fulton, who people don't, you don't see people just out doing videos on Stephen Fulton. I remember when he was fighting, in a way, everybody was picking him and people was just like on some, like trying to be on cold shit. But like, that's one thing I can say about this channel, man. We will actually talk about fighters. We will talk about the underdogs. We will give them a fair shake. Say the ways that they can win. I know me personally, if I feel like they're not getting enough attention, I'll jump on the sword and try to promote them and create, you know, storylines or give you facts about them to help you appreciate their side. So, I mean, for a guy who, you know, he has a great set of skills. You can't face that many champions and have that much success and not be skillful. But for a guy who don't really get that much press, man, when you do get press, as much press as you all were, being on $1 million worth of game, being on Brian Custer's show, the whole press run multiple times. Give your fans closure on the fight so you can go into the next camp, because guess what's going to happen? Going into the next camp, they're going to ask you about this one. You know what I'm saying? So it just, you might well, if you're ready for the media, man, give the media some meat and potatoes that they can eat on, and not just that, oh man, I just wasn't myself, man. I had some bad chicken noodle soup, you know, before the fight, and nah, son. Come on, son. Nah. Come up with something better than that, man. Well, I'm gonna lay off of him, man. He wasn't himself, you know what I'm saying? That's all I heard, you know. But moving on, the law firm of Pacheco and Mercado this weekend, man. A great early birthday present for me, man. you know, the Latin law firm of Pacheco and Mercado, with Pacheco being from East LA, Mexicano. You know, I think he has a bright future at 68. You know, and then you got Mercado, who's half Mexican, half Nicaraguan. You know what I'm saying? Out there from Cali. So 2 Cali boys. Highly skilled, man. Like when you think about Mexican style, they don't fight Mexican style, man. They do not fight Mexican style. Like if you had from top to bottom, if you could have, like, if they were gonna do some Cinco de Mayo stuff, I'm gonna tell you what the card would be. It would be Bam, Tito Mercado, Diego Pacheco, and David Benavidez. You tell me that shit wouldn't be lit. And then you can have whoever, you can pick ops, like, you know what I'm saying? Because they all, you know, they can't fight just, well, Tito Mercado, he kind of can fight just anybody now because, you know, he's the least of the ones that are known. Right behind that is Diego Pacheco because he's just now coming into his own. He could have fought, you know, Hamza Shiraz did send him out an offer. And, you know, Hamza Shiraz and them said that they didn't hear back. Now, I'm one of them guys, you know, that Diego Pacheco and Hamza, they both of them my guys, but I'm going to tell the truth on both of them. You know what I'm saying? Just like I think it's a little bit more to the fact that everybody want to say it's some big-ass conspiracy theory that and Billy and Hamza Shiraz are going to fight for that WBC. And now all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, if you're going to go there, then that means that somebody was playing ball. But y'all don't want to admit that. So let's not even go there because the last time I checked, they had already been saying that Hamza Shiraz, they wanted Hamza Shiraz, and Hamza Shiraz was looking for a fight with either Canelo or Bud after that. So I don't know how it became some big ass conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? Once somebody gets stripped and then somebody don't want to pay their fees, all of a sudden this was a play by Turkey to get Hamza the belt. Well, guess what? Hamza still got to fight him, Billy. You know what I'm saying? And unless we see some blatant, but we got to at least see it. We got to at least see what happened with the Diamonds. Because even though Hamza is my guy, we got to at least see the fight play out. And Turkey come out and say, 2 points. You're down by 2 points. We at least got to see that before we can say, oh, that's just a way to get Hamza a belt. No, he still got to fight him, Billy. So that just must mean that a lot of people don't think shit of him, Billy, or they think they're going to rob that man, but they still got to fight. And the ring is the lie detector. Long story short, Diego Pacheco could have fought Hamza. You know what I'm saying? I think they bringing Diego along pretty well. He's a skilled boxer. Both of them guys know how to fight behind the jab. They know how to use their height, use their length to fight. They both have power. Diego Pacheco, he does relentless body work. Hamza, I mean, he does combinations. I think that that's a fight of the future. Big implications. I'm not sure if it was too early for Diego Pacheco. I'm not sure. I do like how Eddie is moving. I will give Eddie kudos on how he's moving him. You know, I would like for him to put Tito Mercado up against somebody that, you know what I'm saying, that we can act. Well, we getting ready to see him against Moran. This guy, Kevin Saggio, seen the highlights about him, don't know nothing about him. Anybody that's really telling you about him, unless they from where he's from, they microwaving shit right now. Because this is another guy that Eddie would pick that look all big and strong and got a good record, you know what I'm saying, on paper. But skill-wise, if the right Diego Pacheco show up right now, anybody not named Canelo, not named Bud, not named Hamza Shiraz, not named Carlos Adames, I think he, not named maybe David Morrell, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I think I would have, you know, I think I would put money down on Diego. You know what I'm saying? Diego done won me some bread too. Tito Mercado, man, he be talking the noise, man. You know what I'm saying? I love the energy that Tito Mercado, he's just a straight, he talks so fast too, but he's straight to the point, man. I love them straight shooters, man. He's saying, listen, I want the smoke. He calling out everybody, like all our guys, like he's calling out Keyshawn, he calling out Shakur. You name it. He's calling him out. He even was talking a little bit, man. It ain't as abrasive. He just pretty much be rib shotting Gary Antoine saying, oh man, he only fight once a year. If I'm gonna be the fight that he fight once a year, I think he's more trying to agitate himself into the conversation with Gary Antoine. But I think he knows that Gary Antoine is focused on unification at this point in time. You know what I'm saying? He wants to unify. He wants all of the titles, all of the belts. You know, that's in my intro. So I don't think Gary Antoine has this young man on his radar. But like I said before, when I did this thumbnail right here, you see who I got in the front? Frank. And on that right side right there, that's Tito Mercado right there in between Speedy Rashidi and Ryan. That's Tito Mercado right there. So these are the guys, like these are the guys, and I said, like, these are the guys that are between 40 and 47. These are the guys that's not, you know, on everybody's radar. That's not like the first people that come to mind in these conversations, but they are forces to be reckoned with. I mean, we just seen Tiger and what he did to Nicholas Flores. We just seen Frank Martin. We're waiting to see Rohan. We waiting to see Keyshawn come back. Ryan, him and Barrios trying to play it close to the vest, but he getting ready to get a shot. Speedy Rashidi, he just beat up Javier Fortuna not too long ago. Still waiting on Blair to Flair to come back. Liam Paro, he's at 47. I don't know what's going on with De Los Santos. You know what I'm saying? I think Jay Prince had picked him up. I'm not sure. But all these guys are making moves. They're not the first names in the conversation, but they're next up. And Tito Mercado, you get to see him this weekend against that guy, Antonio Moran, who kind of gave Andy Cruz some issues. Back in the day, that's the guy that Devin got the knockout of the year on. You know what I'm saying? But he came back. I think he also fought, if my memory serves me correctly, he fought what's his name? Murataya not too long ago. And it went the distance. You know what I'm saying? But Murataya wound up putting a clinical, you know, not a clinical, but he wound up getting his hands raised and he pretty much put in some work, put in some pain on Moran. Tito Mercado said he ain't playing no games. He's like, man, he looking to get him out of there before the fourth or earlier. So in some combination, man, if you want to win some bread this weekend, I'm trying to tell you, they damn near guaranteed money, man. If you were to pick Pacheco and somehow, some way Mercado by knockout or something. Now, as far as the rounds and all that, it get a little tricky. I want some bread on him because he got Pedraza out of there in 4 rounds. He almost didn't do it, but like, man, that was like clutch. I picked under 4. He got me some bread. But any combination of Pacheco for the win money line and then any kind of combination of Mercado for the knockout, I mean, you're gonna get some bread. You know what I'm saying? That's how much you want to put down. But unless something wild happen, you know what I'm saying, and that guy Sergio is just some, you know, secret weapon in the sport, look out for those guys. I'm very high on those guys. A couple of the Latino guys that I rock with, along with Bam and David, those 2 guys, you know what I'm saying, from the Latin fan base, are guys that I enjoy watching. The last one, man. There's no more WBC outrage. It faded already. All this fake ass WBC outrage, man. It was a farce. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of fake ass outrage out there, and I gotta call it out, man, because this is what I was trying to say about how people be they be gaslighting, man. Like, because look, I didn't get much feedback on this, but look at this. The WBC inexplicably sanctioned Foster Fulton as a 135-pound title fight later Friday, despite the Mexico-based sanctioning organization had already approved Ricardo Nunez and Jadier Herrera to fight for its interim title January 10th in New York. So I was waiting for the fake when I put it out there and say, hey, wait, y'all, where's all this fake ass outrage with what the WBC is doing? That's why I was like, no, like, because I went on to accept it, being that Foster won, because that was Foster's intentions anyway, to use his leverage from the WBC to move up to 35 to pursue Shakur Stevenson, and he was going to, as a champion, he was going to supersede anybody at, in line right there anyway, moving up, as long as he cleared it with the sanctioning body, right? However, I was clueless to know that they had already sanctioned Ricardo Nunez. That's the guy who Tank fucked him up. Like, that's the fight I went to. That's the one I went to in Baltimore. That's the fight when Tank fucked old boy up, and last time he fought in Baltimore. That's the one who, you know what I'm saying, he smirked at Tank, and Tank was like, what? And then, hit him up against the ropes. And then Jadier Herrera, that's the I'm no baby. Tell Shakur, I know baby, Shakur. Like, that's Jadier Herrera. The guy who could have been chosen when Schofield pulled out, it was Jadier Herrera, Kurt Scobie, who many say took a dive against Adam Azine not too long ago. That Jadier Herrera, it was Jadier Herrera or Kurt Scobie, and then Josh Padley, and they picked Josh Padley, the electrician. That same Jadier Herrera and that Ricardo Nunez, who Tank knocked out and stopped in Baltimore, Royal Farms, those guys had already been sanctioned for a bout in January in New York, January the 10th, for that belt. Where's the fake ass WBC outrage? Where is it? I'm listening. It's not there. So let's stop picking and choosing, man, because that's fucked up that they had already sanctioned Nunez and Herrera. Now I'm like, how do y'all, like, because was it contract signed? I mean, I know they got, ultimately in the locker room, they got to sign something. Ultimately, anything can change at the last minute. But, like, how do you sanction a bout for that and then decide you want to give it away because somebody missed weight? And I asked the question. I said, you see how one fighter can have a trickle-down effect to several other people? So by Fulton missing weight, they sanctioned that body instead of just being for Shakur, for Oshaki's title. They sanctioned it at another weight class higher. So he was moving up from 126 to challenge for the 130 belt. And since he missed weight by 2 pounds, they threw in a 135 interim, which is the back door to Shakur's belt. But they had already sanctioned Nunez and Jadier Herrera to fight for it in January. Where's the outrage, y'all? It ain't none. So stop letting these people gaslight you on these dumbass topics and get you all enraged and have you talking about shit that you really don't care about. You only care about it because your favorite fighter's involved. Because I didn't hear nothing. Ain't nobody said nothing about this. Nathaniel, nunca, nil, zilch, zero, nada. But that's my housekeeping. Y'all. I don't know. I know I said a lot, AC, man. What you got, man? What you got?
Not too much, man. I'm pretty much in agreement with the housekeeping and things like that. So we could just get into the cook.
Alrighty then. Well, let me pull up the meat and potatoes then, man. Let me pull up the meat and the potatoes.
That's crazy work. Now I'm actually looking at the rankings right now, and they actually have Oshaki Foster as the interim champ at 135 pounds. Nunez is sitting at the number 1 spot, and JD Herrera is at the number 3 spot. Zepeda is sitting at the number 2 spot.
Zepeda?
Yes, William Zepeda is sitting at the number 2 spot, bro. And guess who's sitting at the... Go ahead.
They gotta kind of knock that off, man. Like Zepeda, Come on, man. He went tooth and nail with Tevin Farmer the first time, and then the second time he redeemed himself, and then he lost to Shakur. It's like, man, you gotta. How is he still just sitting up there, man, without these like JD Herrera and none of these guys up under there getting a shot? Like, how is he still like right there?
Yeah.
They need to move around.
And they got Sam Noakes sitting at the number 2 spot for Abdullah's belt. Everybody's been strange these days.
Well, if I had to guesstimate what's going to happen, I would actually probably say that since they jumped over Nunez and JD Herrera, the winner is probably going to get a shot at Oshaki. Since they gave that to Oshaki, but they said he got a decision to make. You know what I'm saying? They basically said he got a decision to make. I think he got like 2 weeks to a month to make a decision. 2 weeks
about his belt at 130 pounds. I mean,
his move, and whether or not, which is kind of weird. Like, that's why I said, man, if Fulton would have never done that, they wouldn't even have put that up there. It'd have been for Shaki's belt, and then they would have proceeded. But then it probably would have worked out better. Either way, I like it for Oshaki because of what he had planned on doing and how deliberate he was. Being that he was deliberate in actually communicating what he wanted to do. Now, I find it odd that Shakur keep trying to throw Ray Ford in it. I'm like, well, tell Ray Ford to go do something. And I'm cool on Ray Ford. Like, I used to be real huge on Ray. I think I don't know what happened with the Nick Ball, but I'm like, where's the energy? I mean, he didn't get a draw with Nick Ball. Nick Ball beat him. Where's the energy for him to go face Nick Ball, go get his strap back, or go do something like go get a strap? But Shakur get to just tell Oshaki, nah, I'm fighting my young boy. Like, nah, man, stop little broing. Like, this is not a team sport.
Yeah.
Like, so that's what Shakur is doing, and I don't agree with it, but I like it. Now it kind of put pressure on Shakur at 35 because all the talking is over. Like, Oshaki took action. He put belt to ass. He did exactly what he said to do. He's intentional about it, and he got rewarded for it. Now, the downside is JD Herrera and Nunez, who pretty much had it, and JD had been talking, calling out Shakur too. So, that spot, that WBC belt, that spot is getting hot at 35. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy hot. And here's something else for you. Raymond Ford is ranked number 6 for the WBO. He's ranked number 3 for the WBC. All of this is at 130 pounds. He's ranked, wait a minute. Yeah, there he is. He's ranked number 4 for the WBA. And he's ranked number 4 for the IBF. So it's like, Shakur, what are you asking this young man to do? If you're trying to play it like team sport, or you trying to use these younger fighters like chess pieces, to throw roadblocks or toss grenades to try to slow down your op's ability to get close to you. But I don't know if Raymond Ford wants to give up all of this leverage he got down here, because he's close to striking distance. You know what I'm saying? And if you're sitting at number 3, Oshaki, depending on his decision, which he's been saying he wants to go up to 35, Raymond Ford might be in striking distance for that vacant Oshaki belt versus Mark Messiah or Michael Magnesi, depending on which one of them is available.
Well, who's in front of on the WBC at 1? CJ Rich, appreciate the super chat, brother. That's what's up, man. I appreciate you, man. What's up, CJ Rich? Hope all is well, man.
Yeah, my condolences to CJ, man. His mom's passed.
Oh man, my condolences. Dang. take a little moment, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I went through that, man. I went through that when I was what? I was 24 years old, boy. I was over in Iraq. I got that news, that Red Cross, man. I read that letter, man. I just fell to my knees, man. Like all the air just spilled out my lungs. But let me give you a moment of silence, man. Yeah, man. My heart goes out to you. You know what I'm saying? I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling, brother. Hang in there, man. Hang in there, man. Hang in there. Thomas Hill, salute to the man that flooded that basement. Bodywork boxing. Salute. He say AC the current in these YouTube streets.
Yeah, salute, Thomas.
Yeah, man. I know the feeling, bro. Just, one day at a time, man. I think I still kind of compartmentalize, you know what I'm saying? And but the thing is, it was a point in time where it seemed like it didn't happen in my life, but I had to actually confront it and uncompartmentalize it and acknowledge it. But it took a minute, man. I was a lot younger though. But it get better, man. Just you know what I'm saying? Just think about life and the things that she would want you to do going forward and try to honor her by doing those things. That's what I did, you know what I'm saying? That's just my little advice, man. But man, that's tough. But let me ask you something. AC, you said at 1:30 for the WBC, who's ahead of Ray Ford?
Who's at 1:30? Who's ahead of Ray Ford?
Yeah, for the WBC.
Michael Magnesi and Mark Maxayo.
I don't know if I know that guy. Mike
Ain't that
Magnesi?
Yeah, I don't know the Magnesi dude neither. He's 25-2. 27 bouts, 25 wins, 2 losses. He's been knocked out once. He's got 13 stoppages, 169 rounds. He fights out of the orthodox stance. He's from Palestrina, Italy. His nickname is the Lone Wolf. He's 5'6".
The Lone
President
Wolf.
is in Italy. He's 31 years old.
The Lone Wolf. That's hard.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let me see. I gotta look up one thing, and then we're gonna cook, man. But I just want to address this because it's not like I got anything personal against Ray Savage. It's just I haven't been seeing what I want from Ray Ford, man. It's like he been in there and he just been going just giving rounds. He hasn't been as aggressive that he used to be. Using his feet, using his speed and using his feet. He just been kind of going through the motions. He only got a 44% knockout ratio. I mean, in anything, like everything I've seen, what's this guy? Thomas. I was at that fight with Thomas Matisse. That was on the Boots undercard in Atlantic City, right? And I mean, he won 190, right? But like, I didn't see belt to ass like I seen O'Shaquie with the caliber of fighter like Fulton. I didn't see that. Now we can say, yeah, you might rise to the level of your opponent, and your opponent might bring something out. But like you, with that dude Thomas Matisse, you basically said you ain't want to get caught with nothing wild. So you kind of like dialed it back. Like those was his words. So I'm like, if I was O'Shaquie, I'm not slowing down. Why? Because O'Shaquie is 32. Ray Savage, he's 26. So go ahead and make your bones and do something that you do something basically. Go get your get back from Nick Ball or try to win the strap. But I would do exactly what O'Shaquie doing, man. I would step on that gas because why? The clock is ticking and you see how life is, especially when they robbed him you know what I'm saying, against Conceição. You know what I'm saying? When he put on a clinic against Conceição, and he had to come back, he had to do something to go get his strap back. Like, where was that pressure for Ford to go do that with Nick Ball? Because Oshaki just went through it. Well, he actually got robbed, and he had to go back and take his strap back, and then he leveled up, and then he go do that. He made Fulton look pedestrian. What have we heard from Ray Ford other than an endorsement from Shakur? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not with it. You know, I'm like, man, Ray, go, you know what I'm saying? Go get busy, man. I like Ray. Like Ray should fight Shushu. That's what I'll be doing. Go make an example out of Shushu, or let Shushu make an example out of you. That's what I think should happen, like, in my opinion. But who am I? Let's cook though. Let's cook on this high level boxing. High level boxer says Shakur ain't beating Teo. Well, let's talk about it, man. It's interesting because I called this one simple math. Like, why you call it simple math, Mike? If you listen, I'm gonna tell you, right? Look, I've been trying to come up with all these different ways to kind of analyze this fight, and trying to do some trigonometry, some calculus, and it's basic. It's like this. The way I look at it, right? At one point in time, they was calling the people at 135. They were calling them the Four Kings. The Four Kings was Tank, Devin, Teo, and Ryan. As we can see, like, Shakur wasn't one, but guess what? He's the same age as them guys. Like Devin and Teo, he's the same age. But remember, he's the only one that went and he medaled in the Olympics, so he got the silver, but they didn't classify him as one of these Four Kings. One, he wasn't even at 35, but they were talking about the guys that was at 35. And so what do we have? Well, we had two of the Kings fighting in Tank and Ryan. Tank stopped Ryan. We had two of the Kings fighting in Devin and Ryan beat up Devin, but we had the Oster ring, so that don't count. Then, so that's three of the Kings actually getting in the mix. Teo is the only one who has yet to fight one of the other three Kings. Well, I got him with a crown, but Shakur can graduate, and he can knock one of the Kings out of their seat and take their place with a victory. So it basically boils down to simple math, and the fact that if Shakur shows up and do what he's known to do, where he believes a win is a win is a win, and he's just going to get the job done and go home, he's going to win. If Teofimo does what he typically does, where when the big bright lights come on and there's a worthy opponent, he turns up, he's going to show up. He's going to show up, and he's going to turn up on Shakur. The thing is, I think that both of these guys are somewhat at an identity crisis. And y'all gonna be like, what are you talking about, Mike? Well, listen, Teofimo Lopez at 35 is a completely different animal at 40. The power don't look the same. Maybe he had time, and Teo's defense, he says that, yeah, man, he's just now getting his rhythm back. He just now, you know what I'm saying, pretty much collecting himself and figuring out how to fight and what he can and can't do at 40. And we're going to see, you know, some of the things that we saw at 35. Shakur basically saying that, hey, listen, man, I've been dealing with these hand issues. You know, he had to pull out with a hand issue. He's figuring out new ways to actually, you know, work on his hands. You know, I didn't get the answers I needed in the interview that I saw here recently, but that's the whole reason why, in my opinion, why they said he took off the last half of this year was due to some hands. I think that he's going to be moving at a weight class to where, just like these other guys, where you probably have a little bit more chin insurance, man, when you move up to the weight class that you fight, that you should be, which I believe Shakur is truly a 140 pounder. Why? Because it was a year and a half, 2 years ago, when he was sizing Teo up, and he basically said in an interview, he was like, well, actually, he said, I'm a 35 pounder, but actually I'm bigger than Teo. I mean, if you want to be honest. And he said that, like, so you're bigger than Tio, but you're fighting at 35, and he been moved up. He's been at 140 for 2 years now. So he's going to be fighting more comfortable. He might have more energy. He might have more chin insurance. You know, even though he don't really get hit like that, but he get hit more than what people like to give credit for. People do be touching Shakur. They just don't touch him as much as they touch the average guy. But he do be getting touched. Everybody get touched. We can look at all these fights, because at the end of the Haratunian fight, he says, oh man, he hit hard. Well, how would he know he hits hard if he didn't get touched? You know what I'm saying? So he is one of the highest plus or minus ratings, you know, and to his credit, he is a Teflon Don. And the night when O'Shaquie Foster was relieved of his strap by Conceição via the judges, Wally Moses was in the corner telling Shakur, you seen what they did to O'Shaquie? You see, like, come on, man, stop this dude. So the business of boxing didn't allow or wouldn't allow a guy like Shakur, being in the seat that he is, to be relieved of his strap. But at that time, where O'Shaquie was, for the same kind of Teflon Don defensive performance, they allowed the business of boxing to move that strap over to Conceição, even if it was only for a couple of months until the rematch. So that tells you a lot. I'm not sure, because we went over this before with Tio, that if the same circumstances happened with Jermaine Ortiz and Tio, where Jermaine Ortiz really beat Teofimo Lopez, but the business of boxing wouldn't allow them to relieve him of his strap, I'm not sure right now with the trajectory of either one of these guys who the business of boxing would lean towards. Part of me says Shakur, because he's part of the active squad with Keyshawn and Clarissa and Bud. He's part of that whole ordeal. And so since he's in that family tree or that lineage of people, I'm thinking that. But since there's a whole demographic that will get behind Tio, especially if he's to put a pelt on the wall like Shakur Stevenson, the business of boxing might say it's Shakur. The simple math is that if whoever imposes their will and do what they inherently do, Shakur, he minimizes the other guy's offense, becomes damn near untouchable, and he scores enough to win every round. Teofimo, he shows up in the big bright lights, and he is creative in his offense, and he somehow makes his opponent unable to really do anything against him. Put their hands in the. If he do like he did with Lomachenko, it made Lomachenko behave for the first 6 rounds. If he can get Shakur to behave for the first 6 rounds, while he's picking and poking and doing his thing and being a showman, he's going to win the crowd. He's going to rack up the points. And Shakur's not going to have enough offensive output like he used to do when he used to let his hands go with 30 and 26 with deadly combinations. You miss, you pay. You know, simple math, man. What you think, AC?
Man, listen, this fight right here, for me, certain things have changed. This is kind of where I was. I didn't really know how to look at the fight, because there's so many variables. Like, one variable for me is Shakur's hands. You know what I'm saying? The strangest part for me is when his grandfather said his hands have been hurting for the last X amount of years. For me, you going into the elite level of fighters now. You can't be going in there with hurt hands and shit like that. So I was surprised to hear his grandfather still admit that his hands are not corrected. Number 2, when I saw the interview between Shakur and Cigar Talk, I guess that you can call that as a part 2 type thing. You know, Shakur came with a new look where he got his teeth fixed and things like that. And it was, for me, looking at it like, okay, You got those fixed, but the thing that gave you the money to get those fixed, you won't get that part fixed. So is it really your hands, or is it a built-in excuse you're trying to say for every time, the fight is closed so you don't deliver on your promises, or possibly you losing? Well, Shakur had them bad hands for damn near his entire pro career. Then why wouldn't you get it fixed? Why would you buy houses? Why would you get your teeth done and all of this other stuff and not reinvest into the business? Getting your hands done is reinvesting back into the business. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing for me. The other thing for me is after his last fight, I don't remember the guy. Who was that? Haratunian was his last fight on Top Rank.
Yeah.
All right. So after the Haratunian fight, I had no idea that him and Cam and Mace had got into a beef. I heard the whole thing where Cam and Mace called them boring, but I didn't know they had a real life Twitter spat to the point that Cam and Mace had to make they made a video addressing the things that Shakur was saying, and he was talking some big boy stuff like, yo, if you ain't never glove up, I don't care about your opinion. Next time you see me, they better strap up and all of this weird goofy shit. And I'm like, those are the two. Don't talk that with them two dudes. Anybody but them two dudes, because they got real shooters, bro. So at the end of the day, they kept on saying two names. They was like, okay, if you really want to show us who you are, fight Tank. Let us see you beat Tank, and then, you got to shut the fuck up forever. If not, then let us see you, go up to 140 and fight, Tio or somebody like that. So he moved up to 140. So I haven't seen anything, and I was trying to see some things. So remember when Shakur was fighting Oscar Valdez, and then Canelo inserted himself into that picture, telling Oscar Valdez, you got to do this for Mexican pride and Mexican heritage. And then Shakur's like, no, when I beat Valdez, I'm going to be beating both Valdez and Canelo. You feel what I'm saying? And some people, within the boxing community, say, well, his best fight, one of his best fighting premier fights that you'll go to see who the hell Shakur really is watch him versus Oscar Valdez. Okay, cool. So you had that extra bit of thing. That's my takeaway. You had that extra bit of, oomph, and I gotta now win because Canelo done inserted himself in the picture. And by me beating this dude, I'm effectively beating the great Canelo Alvarez as well. Okay, right. Cool, we got that. So for me, it's like when you do this thing with, let's say you get the victory. I can almost guarantee, as petty as Shakur is, he's gonna retweet some shit back out to Cam and them. So I think this is like some of these weird motivations that I think Shakur needs. He needs the ultimate doubt. He needs X, Y, and Z. He needs that third party that was talking, he was in a beef with, and that may get him to step up and whatever. So, I know a lot of people are picking Shakur. I'm still at the 50-50 mark on it because there's just some things about him that I'm completely convinced on this side, but on this side, I'm still not 100% there. Like I'm trying to figure out, and Tio's the type of opponent that if he starts to, get some downhill momentum on you, I want to know how you respond. I want to know how you're going to respond if you get seriously cracked, or if Tio, says fuck it and put you down, like sits you down for a minute. Like what's going to be the thing, because I don't believe this is going to be an easy fight for Shakur by any means necessary. And again, that attitude is still coming down to where you and I are sitting, to where it's like, what Teofimo Lopez is going to show up. I believe the Teofimo Lopez that did his thing with Lomachenko, the Teofimo Lopez that did his thing with Josh Kelly, the Teofimo Lopez that did his thing with the initial guy to get the belt. I think that guy's going to show up because he realizes that, all right, I may be in my, who am I gonna say? Brian Norman situation, my Anthony Yard situation. That if I lose this, it is just gonna be hell for me to try to get back. And the path for me to get back is going to be me, swimming in the river of piranhas and then jumping in the oceans with great whites, and then maybe doing a couple of laps with a nigga that's a kraken. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
And salute to Calico. Let me just read this real quick, Calico, and then you can go, because Dev, he brought up a great point, man. He says the casual fan doesn't realize the type of legacy fight this truly is. So many X factors. I don't think the judges give Shakur his fight if he ain't got the output. Bingo. You know why? Because in a weird kind of way, I think both of these guys are going through identity crisis. They may have found it, but also they're also in a state to where they got something to prove, because Tio, he has, they giving him the lineal. He has had the bigger names. Shakur will have had more divisions at this point, and and he has plenty of accolades to go by. But at this point in time, to be that guy that the boxing world can kind of say, okay, all right, like truly one-to-one, not just lip service at this point. I'm talking about at this point in their career, when they're in their prime, their physical and mental prime. I think that if you say who's more entertaining, who would people pay to go see more? Probably Tio, as far as the style. Who's more tenured and skilled and calculated? Shakur all day. So the winner of this, man, big implications, especially in the fashion in which how it looks. Now, if it goes down to that Jermaine Ortiz versus Tio performance, I think the business of boxing make that same decision for Tio at that point because of the style. Because Tio will be the one actually pushing the fight, making the fight, and all that. Some of the same things we just saw this weekend. Where people will put in that work. You know what I'm saying? He kind of changed his style up, but on crowd points, entertainment value, all of that, he got a lot of the intangibles on his side, and they know that people are going to pay to come see that. So you're right, Dev. I think you might be on to something. I'm not sure yet, but what you got, D Caligo? Salute, man.
Yo, peace, brothers. What's going on with you?
What's happening?
What's going on, bro?
Man, just glad to chop it up. Like this fight here is like hard to call, because I'm still on the record saying I don't see it happening. But once they weigh in and get face to face, then I start to believe it. But I'm still kind of worried for Shakur a little bit, because of course he wins this on paper. On paper, it's already won. But I'm worried that I may think lowly of Tio, but I have to be honest that he's by far the best opponent Shakur has ever stepped in the ring with. And that kind of scares me, Like, I know he sparred everybody, which don't mean a lot. That don't mean nothing. He sparred everybody. But he's never faced anybody else that's near elite. So I think that could be a real factor. Like, he's never been in there with somebody that's highly capable and desperate. at the same time. You know, so
Yeah.
so that, you know, that could be what benefits T.O. But other than that, like I say, on paper, it's like none of us see a way he can win. You know, like stylistically, you know, just on a normal day, like if they both 100%, you got to give it to Shakur. You know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just not quite sold. Like he said, like the brother said, that hand injury thing. To me, it would be almost like if Roach and Pitbull go right back into it. I think him talking about that hand got Pitbull licking his chops. You know?
Yeah.
So the same thing could go with the build up to this fight. Like just training for the fight, Shakur could aggravate something. Or if T.O. was smart, he would make him pull everything he got out of him and make Shakur possibly hurt his hand in the match. You know?
Exactly. See, that's what I think. See, AC said something about he brought up this wonderful point in the Devin fight with Brian Norman. He basically said, man, okay, after he got dropped, because I could see that happening. T.O. and another guy, I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to get misconstrued as hating, even though he's on my intro. They got this issue when they getting in and when they moving out. They tend to get caught going in and tend to get caught coming out because of how they choose to get in. So I could see Shakur dropping them because it don't, like the way T.O. do, it's an imbalance thing. He be off balance because the guy Sandor Martin, he don't have that much power. He's not a power guy, but he's a surgical boxer. And he timed them 2 times and dropped him coming in. I could see Shakur being able to do that, and he's a very astute boxer. He's going to watch. He's probably seen that tape 1,000 times, and he probably took some things that Jermaine Ortiz was able to do, took some things that Sandor Martin was able to do, some of the successes since he's a southpaw that he's seen Loma when Loma started turning up, you know, later rounds and had a little success. He's probably mixing all of that up in. But the thing is, what AC said was, once Brian Norman got dropped, he made a business decision initially, and then a round went by, and then a round went by, then a round went by. And it never registered in Brian Norman's head that, hey, the hardest I've gotten hit was the hardest I'm going to get hit. I believe that Teofimo, if that happened with Teofimo Lopez, like you said, he's going to get desperate and he's going to take more chances. See, T.O. will sell out. I know he will, especially with this on the line, because listen, as weird as it is, these guys draw some of the weirdest inspiration. It's like they kind of gotta dredge it up. See, T.O. already did it with the whole thing with Bud, like the whole Bud, and then, you know, having the world against him, and then him looking at this like, okay, I'm getting ready to take out one of the members of the active squad because he has something going on with Bud. He has something going on with Keyshawn, but he's getting Shakur. And that's the one he got to take everything out on. And he's drawing an inspiration from that. That might be all the motivation he needs. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that with all this pressure on him and him letting this guy come up to his weight class where he's the most tenured champion, he's going to sell out. He's going to be desperate. And that's a dangerous, like a T.O., and he got paid finally. You know, so he's motivated by the pay. He has that little quirky motivation that he needs from fighting somebody from the active squad. You know, he has everything going into this fight that he needs. Now, technically, did he fix those flaws? I don't know. I think he did a better job with Arnold Barboza, who's more of a pure boxer than anything else, more than a boxer puncher. So Barboza, he could have exploited some of the things that T.O. had, like that getting in, getting out. He wasn't able to exploit it, but Barboza and Shakur are not, you know what I'm saying? They different stances, but they're not on the same stratosphere, in my opinion. But Barboza is a technical boxer. But what you say, Calico?
No, I was saying how Barboza didn't sell out, pretty much like how Stephen Fulton, like these people, when they realized they had a dead end like that, you know, like this is about to be a standstill if you don't get beyond this level, right? This jab keeping them at bay, and they have to sell out, but they won't sell out. Just like you were saying, Brian Norman Jr., he like everybody expected him to have it in him to just go all out. You know, I mean, round after round, like I kind of fell for the hype a little bit because I didn't think he was gonna win, but I did think he was such an animal based on what everybody's saying and what we've seen so far. I feel like he was such an animal that if Devin surprises him and knocks him down, he gonna have to do it 5 times because this guy gonna keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. But like you say, you know, like he got stuck, you know.
Yeah. I think T.O. will sell out though. What you think, AC?
No, I think I'm pretty much in the camp of T.O. already sold out. He knows that. I'm hoping he knows that at this point, I got to do something spectacular because I don't know if I'm the guy that the business wants to put money in. And if I had to look at my past, what points did I get off of beating Loma? Although some of those, I fucked up some of those points, but what points did I get off of beating Kelly? You feel what I'm saying? I'm still yada, yada, yada. I was the lowest paid only champ on the fucking New York City card. So I'm just like, I don't know where his head is at. I'm hoping he's in the space of saying, I got to do something spectacular. I got to do something that really separates me from Shakur and solidifies, even if it goes down to a decision, I get that decision nod, whether it's split, majority, or unanimous.
But that's one of the best pelts. I mean, aside from Tank, you know what I'm saying? You might even want to say Devin. Aside from Tank and Devin, that's one of the best pelts you can have on your wall, bro.
Yeah.
If you can get that core pelt up on your wall, and I think that's more in a weird kind of way, man, because it's almost like T.O. is like the Joker in a way. It's like he's like the Joker. He kind of take on that Joker mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of like why I did that. Like the way, like his way of thinking. It's like he don't really want to be the hero. He kind of like this is a moment. This is one of the moments to where we're so weird that this is a moment where T.O. thrives in. You know, it's just gonna be whether or not, because we've seen Shakur at the highest level and lose, like the Olympics thing, where it was right there. He was going for the goal and he came up short, right? But I don't think I've seen Shakur in a moment like this to where it's like it wasn't somebody that was just like right for you. Like, because Oscar Valdez, I mean, we hype him. You know, I'm not taking away from him. But like, this is like Calico said, I didn't even say it. This is the highest level of competition we've seen Shakur at. Like, and with these big bright lights with everybody looking. Like, you done said all this stuff. Now you coming out saying you're the face of boxing. You know what I'm saying? And all this stuff. It's like, man, like, this is like prime time under them big bright lights. Like, is that real going to come out? Are you going to live up to everything that you said? Because from everything I've known, I used to be a huge Teofimo Lopez fan. I was big on both of these guys, but I used to be big on Tio, especially at 35. Like, I kind of thought like I understood how he was thinking, and then somehow I think he lost himself. But this is the kind of moment that Tio thrives in.
It is.
Yeah, he got them belts at 35, in my opinion, and he just went to straight silk sheets. To whereas, in my opinion, he fucked up his momentum by not immediately taking a Devin Haney fight when Devin Haney pressed him. You just beat Loma. Devin Haney was the smart move. Cambosis, we were all calling that like, bro, this nigga just cherry picked the shit out of it.
But I don't think because I was around, man. I don't like Devin and them. They didn't want to fight Tio, man.
Shit.
They didn't. Because listen. At that point in time, Devin was getting paid, but Tio still wasn't getting paid. And so he wasn't at a stage. He like, look, man, I beat Loma before you. I didn't even make what you made when you beat, like, you know what I'm saying? And for my style, like, come, I wouldn't beat Richard Coleman before you. I still ain't made the kind of money. So he was saying, man, I want to get paid. I ain't got no reason to cap. He was basically saying, I want to get paid, bro.
Yeah, he wanted a free fight, like some bum. He wanted some bums on his record where he still get money for fighting nobodies. That's what he wanted.
Yeah, but for me,
like,
it was.
But he was looking. You got to think about this. Like, he went and got a belt before Devin. He beat Loma before Devin.
Yeah, because
Devin
he was underrated,
was making more money than him. Like,
because
so he was
underrated.
like, hold on, man. I want to make some bread too.
Yeah, for me, it was like this. Leading up to that situation before Tio got the belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
We was hearing the situation between Tank and Ryan was kind of going at it, and then something happened where Tio injected himself in it, and then Tio and Ryan was going at it, and we thought we were going to get the Tio versus Ryan Garcia fight. That's one of the things that slowed you down. For me, after he got his belt, you feel what I'm saying? After he got his belt, him and Loma made their deal. He won that belt. You feel what I'm saying? He was talking, I'm not going to rematch Lomachenko. Devin Haney was up there, and then he was like, I want to fight Tank. Tank was like, fuck you and fuck them belts. Like, I'm not gonna get out there and fight you and then have to pay all that money out because I done got all of them belts. So for me, it was like the next best thing was Devin Haney. I was still sketchy at that time because I was like, woo, Dev, you starting to look like 35 may not be your division. You feel what I'm saying? So at that point, I was still starting to question some of Devin Haney's whatever. But I just thought that him and Ryan not fighting, and then him and Devin not fighting, although it wasn't like a big thing, but between the Devin Haney fans that was hearing Bill saying, chasing those belts, we were like, yeah, go after it. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? So that was kind of in that small pocket, to whereas the Devin Haney fans were supporting that shit all the way. Because you still looking like you can make the weight comfortably, but if you get all of those belts, bro, I don't know about how many title defenses you're gonna get, and maybe just get them shits and get the fuck up out of Dodge.
Hey, shout out to Turk Yalla Sheik. You hear me? Because that fight would have happened a long time ago.
Yeah. Now I believe that. I believe that. Now, yeah, if they would have put that bread, but see, you got to think about it like this. Tio had got out of bounds and got out of line with Bob and them.
Yeah.
So Bob and them had to
that's
spank
the
him.
First person he did it to.
Yeah. Then he did the
turkey.
Yeah, then he did it to Turkey. So at that time, it was like, man, like he was sitting there looking like, man, for what I've done, I need to be compensated. And Boston streets talk, so he know what them guys was making. They know exactly. And he like, hold on, man, how come I'm doing this and they getting that? Not taking any accountability that somewhat he kind of fucked it up for himself too. You know what I'm saying? But like, he was in a tough spot, and then he started goofing off. So I do think that if Turkey was around earlier, he would have put that bag out there.
Yep, he'd have made him fight.
They would have got it. But I don't.
To me, it's not no fanboyism involved. It's just the best fighting the best. You feel me? So, basically, I don't care if you was a Tio fan. You're supposed to want that fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people don't. Basically, they don't want to dare put their their favorite fighter in there with a 50-50. That means he has a chance of losing. People just want a guaranteed win. They want an easy dub.
Yeah, I don't like that either. But see, I had more faith in Tio like before. It was before I seen the
antics.
It was before I with Devin. When I say with Devin, I wanted to see Tio with that. I wanted to see Tio and Devin all the way up into the Ramirez fight. Like once I saw the Ramirez fight, I was like, man,
yeah, the styles
like,
wouldn't
yeah,
look good.
like because that's like, to be honest, that kind of until I seen Devin with this Devin with this Norman thing, I didn't want to see Ryan do it because I know Ryan can't like that. If Devin fight the way he fought Ramirez with Ryan can't cut the ring off. Like he ain't gonna be able to cut it off either. So I don't want to see it. Like
I don't think there's a Mexican alive. I'm just being honest.
But me, like, I was just like, Tio is just one of those fighters that, you know, you know what his capabilities are. You know where his ceilings can be. We have a gauge. We have a gauge on many different things like that. So to a certain degree, I mean, on paper, I hear where people saying, and you guys are saying that it would be 100% Shakur based on styles and things like that. But for me, I'm still like, I would be leaning towards him, but I would not be shocked if Tio pulled off the upset. And being that Tio fought the heavier competition, what the fuck really is the upset in this fight? Who is the upset? Because for me, I'm like, this is one of those fights to whereas you got one guy who's on the precipice of showing, yeah, I can be a candidate now to being considered as a true elite fighter. I have one receipt right now. You know what I'm saying? I put my deposit in the bank to start that bank account. Now I'm gonna start building on you know, that bank account and seeing what type of interest I could collect from just my deposits. And the deposits are the big names that are, you know, considered some of the elites in the at 140 and even at 135 or whatever, wherever he's gonna go after this fight. So that's, for me, that's the side of Shakur. You have this door right now that you walk through that the fans, some of your detractors, a lot of people, we're not gonna go with the, oh, it was depression or mental illness or whatever. None of that applies. Both of these guys seem to be good. I'm not gonna go with the, if Shakur and them Tio wins, Shakur tries to come up with the hand excuse. I'm like, the nigga paid for his teeth. He could have got his hands done. I'm not going for that. So where I'm at with it is, Shakur is facing what where he wants to be and get that recognition of greatness. I don't know what type of performance Shakur wants to come in and put down. You know what I'm saying? Tio is at the space of justification and recognition. So both of them are on the recognition train, but one is looking for the justification, and the other one is looking for, you know, my next stop is Eliteville. So that's kind of where I am. I don't know how to call this fight, bro. Too many variables. I'm gonna probably stay hands down on not being able to call it, but just giving my keys to victory on how each one of these guys can possibly beat each other.
So what you think, Calico? What would be the upset if X fighter won? That would be the upset. Which one is the upset?
I mean, you know, the upset would have to be Tio, just because he's, you know, it's not A side or B side with this one. It's the fact that he is certifiably the villain You know, Tio is the villain. And people may hate Shakur, but he's not a villain. You know? Like, he disrespects single people. You know, one person at a damn time. You know? That's what he does. But Tio wanting to be like, you know, his idol, Ryan Garcia. You know, like he wish he could be Ryan Garcia and be popular or whatever. So he noticed, wow, this guy disrespected black people. This guy disrespected Muslims. This guy disrespected everybody. And they love him still. So I'm going to try the same thing. Tio tried it, and it backfired. So he's officially the villain. We all want to see him get his ass kicked. Is Shakur who we would have picked? I would have never called Shakur, hey, I need you to come around here and whoop this motherfucker ass. You know? So it kind of disheartens me a little, because even if Shakur wins, it's not going to be the ass whooping that I ordered. You know? Like, the only person going to lose is us. Either way it goes. Even if Shakur wins, even if he loses, we lose. Because it's not going to be no devastating ass whooping. You feel me? It's not going to be what his mouth been asking for, bro. He always telling me he got to get a black boy on his record and all that. Now I got to get a black... Man, stop playing with us, man.
Yeah.
You got a lot of us that want that smoke. Like, that, you know, I just can't wait. You know, I want to see him get brave enough to fight more black fighters.
That's why I got off the he was already starting to act weird, you know what I'm saying? But that's why I kind of got off of it, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't got to do that. And Tio was already entertaining. He was doing the Fortnite dances, he was doing the backflips. He was one of the most realest guys. He was the one that was just like acting like the common man. He really didn't put on no airs.
You hear come to the small channels and everything. He was a good dude at one point. You know, I don't think he really realized his following is black people. His black people was his best supporters.
Right.
We were the majority of his support, and you cut that off. You stupid as hell. Black people love Tio. We had loved Tio. You know what I'm saying? Basically, we adopted the motherfucker. You know? But after you said that, man, you got 1% that might still fuck with you. The other 99%, we ain't fucking with you, bro. You know? For real. You ain't gonna apologize. You ain't gonna never be sincere. So it's like, fuck you too. You know? I can't wait till somebody knock your ass out.
I wanted Tank to do it. You know what I'm saying? I had been calling for Tank to do it, man. That to me, that fight still is a. That's
I ain't gonna lie. Like I would accept Subriel Matias. Like Subriel ain't from the U.S., but I would accept that Puerto Rican beating the shit out of Tio.
Ain't Subriel Puerto Rican?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's U.S.
Oh yeah. You're right. Puerto Rico is U.S. Yep.
But this One Deep got a point. That should have been it. That was the fight. That was supposed to be Keyshawn Davis' fight, and Shakur just swooped in and snatched it up. And see, that's why I'm still trying to figure out, and I'm not trying to get in between their relationship, but they got a weird ass relationship.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah, they got love.
I'm like, I don't know how we gonna do this friend shit. And I said down at 35, I said, come on, man, I'm futuristic. I think a ways out. I said, man, are we gonna let these two dudes just fuck up every division because they're in and around the same weight class? It's all but one or maybe two weight classes that could separate them. But with them both being at 35, they kind of gonna be joined at the hip. So we just gonna let two lions. They would barely even let two twins in the Charlos. People campaign for the twins, them Charlo twins to fight, or for Earl and Jamel to fight before the whole riff with Derek and all that. Before that, they campaigned for twins to fight more than these two. And I'm like, that was supposed to be because there was history where they was on stage and Keyshawn was saying whatever he was saying to T.O. and they was going back and forth when T.O. was trying to act like he was reading his book and stuff like that. So they was already lining it. And then you had the whole banana thing and the thing where it happened with
exactly
with the dude with the dude who Keyshawn beat for the title or whatever. That whole situation where somebody sent him the fruit basket.
Yeah.
And then you got T.O. in the wings, like that was that, and then Keyshawn won the belt, and then he imploded. He imploded, man. He missed the weight. He basically did what he did, and then that kind of made his career bust a hard left. Like it almost came to a
like Keyshawn not no solid dude either. Like Keyshawn got a lot of static for black fighters, but he don't got no static for other people like that. Like him and T.O. thing. Soon as that situation happened where he was overweight and all that, the first time he came out of his little hiatus and he spoke his first interview, damn near the first thing he want to say is shout out to Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah, he did.
For being there for me when I was down, saying the guy got mental, he need mental health, and, you know what I'm saying, all this bullshit that he don't know was sarcasm. The man don't give two fucks about you. You know what I'm saying? And like he want to be friends with that dude. I guarantee he want to make him his Spanish brother. Like me and you never gonna fight. We brothers. Like on some Shakur type shit. I'm tired of it, man.
Bro,
fight everybody, bro. Brother, a real brothers fight for free. God damn it, it doesn't happen. It just happens. Playing a video game, they fight.
I'm here with it. For me, my landscape picture is somewhat a little bit different. Both of these fighters, honestly, I just try to keep it for both of them in the ring and stuff like that, and that's where I want to keep both of them. And for me, T.O. has choices. Like for me, when I look at T.O., you lose this fight, which many black boxing fans are expecting. They're expecting Shakur to show up and show out and just outpoint you, control the pace and everything like that. But he still has that 147-pound option. You know what I'm saying? For me, I don't know where Shakur's options go, because right now, if he's talking the way he's talking, like he's saying he wants to go back to 35 and stuff like that, you got dudes at 35 that are now looking for that smoke. There's possible fights at 35 that I don't think you can go back down there without making these fights, because then your fan base is going to start to look at you like a little weird. Mm-hmm. At 40, you got young dudes like Mercado and other guys that are like, if Shakur gonna stay up here, I'm trying to get this Shakur fight. So where you still see these channels like Shakur Stevenson, what's next for him after this fight, because he's the most avoided guy. It's like you're telling me he's the most avoided guy, but you're also gaslighting, because I can name at least 4 or 5 fighters that are diligently calling this dude out, at 140 and at 35. So I don't know where you guys are making this argument or where you're getting these talking points from. So my biggest thing is, after the fight, what's going to be next? I want to see the fight. I'm torn on the fight, way too many variables, but it's still like, what's next after this? What are going to be the ramifications, the real life in real time ramifications?
Yeah, man. Hey, put it like this: my wild card at 140 is Frank Martin. You know, I'm talking about whether he fight a Shakur or a Pitbull. Like I, man, especially Hitchens. I know that's like a personal thing. And
Mercado wants to fight. Mercado wants to fight with Frank Martin.
Man, hey, Frank Martin is pressure. Like the only thing they could try to do with him is outpoint him and stay on the outside, because right now that little motherfucker coming to hurt somebody.
Nah, but for real, I seen that interview, man, and Tito. I like Shakur and I like Tito. Like I was saying earlier, I like them both. Like I had them both on. They don't come up first in the conversation, but they definitely should be in the conversation. And I had them like right here, but like he had Tito was out here, man. He was saying some stuff, man, that like he basically said he said him and Frank was going at it. And he said he reached out and had his people call or whatever, and he's like, man, he basically got ghosted.
Yeah,
but I know he ain't in the plans. See, right now it's kind of weird because they playing that looking back game. So Tito got more of a hill to climb because he's the least known, and he's still trying to make his bones. See, Frank done got the big fight. And so he worked his way back, and now he already stamped. So these guys are not going to risk looking back. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to look back. I call it because the same thing Keyshawn and them was doing. Keyshawn was doing it to the other guys because he was like, man, basically he knew that he had a title shot in the bag. So they're not going to be looking back.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the Andy Cruz looking back situation.
Yeah. They're not gonna look back. Like they're not like for you. Like what you bring to the table. It's the same thing I'm trying to say with O'Shaquie and Ray Floyd. And that's why I don't like how Shakur is like throwing him out there. I'm like, man, make Savage go do something else, bro. Like, man, that's looking back for O'Shaquie. O'Shaquie want you, bro.
Hey, bro, that's my wild card at 135. O'Shaquie Foster. You hear me? God damn, my boy, he done really risen to where I thought he could, I ain't lying.
So let me ask you this question then Calico.
Mm-hmm.
Once a lot of the smoke clears out at 35,
mm-hmm.
your thoughts on O'Shaquie Sam Noakes fight?
Ooh, that man, bro, that wouldn't even be close. That would not be close because we dealing with an older version of Abdullah, a very much wiser version, almost a Devin Haney mixed with an Abdullah Mason type. So the precautionary measures are going to be taken that Noakes don't even get Noakes going to get mistreated worse than goddamn Stephen Fulton, because it didn't have to be that close. It's just like with Lamont Roach, he didn't have to stand in the damn pocket, but he chose to make it interesting.
I'm not even gonna lie, Calico. I'm liking Sam Noakes right now, man, and
I love him. I love his power
at 35.
Like to me, he's Ricky Hatton 2.0.
Yeah, bro, that dude's a fucking, he's like, I don't know, bro. I just like him. I like his take on the loss, his take on the future and things like that. So for me, when I look at 35, I like O'Shaquie at 35, but I see some tough ass fights for him at 35. And at the end of the day, bro, that O'Shaq could easily be that guy that gets all those belts up under his joint. I'm also thinking, will O'Shaquie and Mr. Gary Russell get it on?
Ooh wee, bro. So people don't understand.
Like, bro, I'm hearing what you're saying where you like you got him there, But I'm like, I hear what you're saying, Calico.
He's a wild card. I'm giving him the wild card. I'm not saying he's a
Yeah.
you know,
No,
like
I'm saying I hear where you're giving him the wild card, but he's in like he might
yeah,
be
it's
in a
thick.
foot race for that actual wild card title because I
Yeah,
think
it's thick.
might
That,
be one, and Mr. Gary Russell might be one.
hey, bro, I don't think people would appreciate how great of a fight that would be. You know, I'm sure us three, man, bro, I could damn near get goosebumps thinking about how good of a fight that would be. You know, but I don't think the rest of the boxing world, or definitely not casual. I don't think a casual would even know. Like, it's probably not a casual that knows both of these fighters. You know what I'm saying? But Mr. Gary Russell got the fastest hands in boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Gary Russell has taught the likes of Shakur and many, many others. He's just been in the game so long. You know? So it's a phenomenal mind in the ring with anybody. If anybody can figure that shit out that you're doing, it's Mr. Gary Russell. Yeah. But is he young enough to outdo the likes of Shakur Foster?
Yeah, those are some of the tangibles which just make all of these fights and make 35 right now, kind of hot because we got one more new chess piece that came up to 35.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Shakur Foster. So 35 looks crazy. 40 is just like, bruh, Shakur, what are you gonna do at 40? Are you gonna stay there? Because these dudes want that smoke with you, bruh.
Yeah, they do.
Look, this is what I want. I want, since Roach got the draw, I want him to go ahead and consider that Mr. Gary Russell smoke.
Finally.
It's only right because look, you mess around and you beat Mr. Gary Russell Jr. You make him go back to the drawing board, but if not, Mr. Gary Russell he's already certified in my book. That was the only one I said that's the only one that I said, hey man, if him and Tank fight, hey, I just want to enjoy the fight. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else I pretty much got Tank, but if Mr. Gary Russell was to beat Lamont, he's stamped at 35, and now people ain't gonna be able to move around from 35. Like everybody would have to see him at 35. Like, why not? Because this is how I think. They always be one. It's crazy. Like when it's like the Chris Van Heerdens and the Al Juries and the Lipinets and all these dudes that's law in the tube. Everybody be hunting. One point in time, everybody was hunting for Adrian Broner. And here you got this guy right here saying, "I'll be your Huckleberry," and everybody moving around. Like you can't tell me like, listen, man, like them two. It's a reason, bro. It's a reason why they was slithering up out of there, bro. Yeah. Like I saw the play all. They do not want to see. You know why? Because they was in the same division as him.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you how true you know that is. Because the fight we just saw this past weekend, Pitbull versus Roach. Honestly, that fight should have been at 135.
Yep.
But motherfuckers running from that smoke at 135.
Yeah, because Roach ain't got no business at 40. I mean, Pitbull ain't got no business at 40 because like Ryu showed it. Like if you needed to see it, Ryu showed it. You know what I'm saying? He showed it to where them guys like Sabril Matias, Gary Antoine, like they gonna put that Pitbull head on the stake. You know what I'm saying? They gonna turn him into
this in context. Let's put this in context to really understand this shit. Yo, excuse me laughing. But Pitbull Cruz is the interim champ to Sabril Matias. Like, bruh, that man will send you your little puck ass. He will send you, to the man. I just can't. I'm like, no.
Guess who he calling for though, AC?
Who?
He's not calling for Sabril.
Oh my God.
Guess who he's calling for?
I was hearing that he was talking about the winner for a hot minute he was talking about the winner between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur.
That guy
Yeah.
right there. He want that guy. That's why I say, man, like he don't have the dimensions for 40. He get like see, and it's apparent because if Roach would have boxed, if Roach would have took a page out of Shaki's book, we would like they'll be saying, yeah, people need to go back down to 35, where he's really a force. I think he just don't want to make the weight.
Yeah.
I think he just don't want to make the weight. Which I don't know why, because he's more formidable at 35. Like he's a problem at 35. Like him and that dude, him and Lemos would be a banger. Like if Lemos was in shape, like he deserved to be down there where the dimensions are a little bit better, to where he could really knock motherfuckers. Like he got a chance to really knocking motherfuckers out at 35.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing, you know what I'm saying. But at 40. It's enough. He can buckle you. He probably can drop you. He can do like, because he caught Rolly, put him on stilettos, but he don't have the dimensions for somebody who know how to use their reach and skill. Like if you got any kind of finesse, like a Cabrera, a guy like Cabrera would finesse him. I think maybe even
not even Hitchens.
You know what I'm saying? I think Shakur. I mean,
Pollo all day.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna say this. If he goes back down to 35, I can already tell, for me, he's not gonna want to see an Albert Bell. That's gonna be out of the question. For me, it'll be some shit like him and Schofield, depending on who returns and stuff like that. Him and Schofield will be probably like the two knockout guys at 35.
That'll be a fan-friendly fight, but I want to see. To be honest, I want to see O'Shaq and Schofield. I want to see O'Shaq and Schofield.
My boy was school, motherfucking.
I know. It's just that I don't want to see
right now.
I like what you're saying. If you got the audacity to want to fight Shakur, you might as well fight people like O'Shaq.
But this the reason why, because I think he gonna get Tank next, and this I can already hear media. I can already say, oh, here we go. He don't fight nobody. But anybody else Schofield fight, they gonna be like, oh yeah, I like it. Like how we wanted to see Shakur. We wanted to see Shakur and Floyd. I thought Shakur was going to just school Floyd, but I thought Floyd had a puncher's chance because of his style. I thought it was like a style clash, but with Tank, they ain't gonna get that, man. When he sparked the shit out, like it's gonna be about round 3 or 4. When he sparked the shit out of Floyd for making a mistake, they're gonna be like, see, we knew this was gonna happen. When is he gonna fight somebody? The same thing they did with Frank Martin. Like that's why I say O'Shaq get him. You know what I'm saying? That's a good fight. That's a good fight.
But it's on the scale of 1 to 10. For us pure boxing fans, like all three of us up here, we're like, it's a good fight, but it is a bit sadistic because we pretty much recency bias is just gonna ring in my head consistently if you tell me about Floyd Schofield and what's the name. Yes, Schofield, last fight you did knock out Tevin. You feel what I'm saying? But you avoided the Abdullah smoke and shit like that. For O'Shaq, we just saw him pick apart a guy that I believe, to a certain degree, I think Fulton at 35 would probably beat Floyd Schofield.
Yes.
So I'm just like I'm in a space. I'm in a space with Schofield because I just want to see a little bit more for him, and I think O'Shaq is just going to be way too much for him on that night. But it still is an interesting fight because we will want to see if Schofield can get through that type of adversity and make some sort of changes to whereas it won't look as bad as O'Shaq beating Stephen Fulton. And I think that's his threshold. Just not look as bad as Stephen Fulton.
And one thing I've come to realize is that every fighter, even the great ones, every fighter is learning on the job,
Yeah.
right? So the fighters like the Haneys and like the Shakis, or the Shakurs, these guys, they typically go 12 rounds. So nobody has learned more on the job than these technical fighters, and it's gonna benefit them in the long run, because these knockout artists, they don't get a lot of training on the job, and eventually they're gonna go in deep water. Their conditioning is gonna go in deep water. Their IQ is gonna have to go in deep water. The whole team, their corner man, got to go into deep water, and it's just so, it's such uncharted territory for them that they already in over their head before the fight starts. Just being honest, like, we're gonna see these guys, these technical fighters, they're gonna have long careers. I don't know what their record might be, but they're gonna have a long career.
Let me ask you something. I got a couple things. I got a couple matchups, because I wouldn't mind seeing De Los Santos and Roach. I wouldn't mind seeing De Los Santos and Pitbull. I wouldn't mind seeing Frank and De Los Santos.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm on. I just want to see De Los Santos come back and get active and see whether or not he at 35 or he's gonna be 40. Because he got like a big back. Like, he's like, I think he might be a 40. You know what I'm saying? But
Frank with Buddy McGirt is different.
But yeah, this the real matchup though, because he got his sights set on Hitchens, but I think that he's one fight away from that. I think he gotta have one more fight in order for that to be real. But I'm thinking, man, he might have to go at Gary Antoine might give him a shot before Hitchens, I think. Because everybody be saying that Gary Antoine name, they say it. Like Tito, he's saying it, but he kind of dismiss it like, oh yeah, he only fight once a year. Everybody be saying Gary Antoine, but nobody really be wanting to get in the ring with that nigga. But what you think about that? What you think about the Ghost and who I call the Butcher, Gary Antoine?
Oh yeah, man. Like finally, that's what needs to happen. And I think that that Roach is he's getting popular enough that even Gary Antoine can't ignore him. Now it's got to be desirable. It's like, wow, this guy done got popular as a motherfucker. People think highly of him. I need to knock him down,
Well,
so
go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I think he's finally as interested as his big brother, because we know that's who really want to fight, is the older Gary Russell. But Gary Antoine is the one that Lamont even called out.
Lamont gotta understand though, man. Like, it's what we was trying to tell. I think what was that, CJ? We were trying to tell CJ, man. Like, Roach, he just he held his place in line. He didn't take a step forward. He didn't step forward with the line. He held his place in line, meaning that he probably got to do something else, like, to get over that hump. Because right now it's like, like Gary Antoine looking at it like, look, I want to unify. I've been saying I want to unify. I got to get one of these other guys in the ring with me. You know what I'm saying? Either Quayo, so they gotta start looking around. Like, somebody got to take on Sabril. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to take on Hitchens. And I don't know what Hitchens going to do, but I think Hitchens wanted T.O. But it's like Gary. Nobody really want to see Gary Antoine. Nobody really want to see Sabril right now.
For me, it's like this. If I'm Lamont Roach and he's talking about his weight and all of that, for me, I got my eye on two fights, and both these fights should really, really, really be easy for me to make. And both of these fights are actually really, really great fights in my opinion. You take out Keyshawn, or you go after Richardson Hitchens. Both of those guys, I believe, will make that fight with you ASAP, as opposed to, Gary Antoine wanting to be on his mission, and things like that. And Sabril, we got to figure out what Sabril's going to do after Dalton Smith, because I think Sabril is going to want to unify. Out of the two guys that I think that are actually, well, I could say Hitchens, Gary Antoine, and Sabril are kind of like feeling a little antsy. You know what I'm saying? And they want their unifications to help propel them into that space that Tio occupies. For me, these other three guys are chasing the spotlight that Tio occupies, but Tio doesn't have to pay for the spotlight he occupies. And for me, that's where Tio feels that if I beat Shakur, then the spotlight that I occupy now really, really warrants the pay that I'm always seeking, or a pay that that's reasonable enough at the start that we can start negotiating on, and no matter what, I'm going to be happy with the numbers. So for these other guys, I think me personally, I'm thinking like for Lamont Roach, I'm thinking it's either going to be Keyshawn or Richardson Hitchens. I don't know if Hitchens has a mandatory or anything coming up just yet. I don't know where Lamont is, but I think Lamont Roach for me would be a perfect candidate for the IBF belt at 140 pounds should he beat Richardson Hitchens, because he's saying, I don't have to cut weight like that. So we'll see how that goes.
I think Richardson is coming back in February, but I don't know who the opponent is. I think he's going to do a defense. And then he's trying to do something else.
Yeah, and for me, it was when I look at Frank Martin. I'm kind of looking at Frank Martin in the same vein. It's like, if you're making your statement to be able to be someplace and have a big fight, I'm like, do that Keyshawn thing. That shit is already baked in. That shit is just add water right now. Add water in the venue, and there you go.
Hitchens?
Huh?
Hitchens? You talking about Hitchens?
I was saying for Frank Martin to fight Keyshawn.
Yeah, that's mandatory. That's got to happen one day.
I'm thinking right now, why not sooner than later? Because in one of his last interviews, he said, yeah, him and Keyshawn have been talking, and he was like, after that, if you ain't got nothing really set up, let's make something happen. And Frank Martin was like, yeah, after my fight, I'm gonna see what's there, and if ain't nothing really happening like that, then we could really do this. So,
but Keyshawn, he getting ready to do the Albright, and I'm like, man, is this what we gonna get from you, Keyshawn? I don't want to see that shit, man.
Exactly.
I don't want to see
vendettas.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, fuck the Albright fight. Do the fight with Frank Martin,
bro. That's just funny as hell. Like, for one, like the first time him and Nahir Albright fought, like Keyshawn was winning, pretty much the whole fight, but he ended up getting hit harder than he ever been hit in his motherfucking life. You hear me? And that's why I knew he was setting his brother up. I'm like, why would you let your brother fight him? Yeah, you won, but that guy cracked your ass, bro.
Yeah. I was looking at the writing on the wall too. I was like, man.
Yeah, I saw it a mile away. I'm like, Keon ain't even like that. Or Kelvin ain't even like that. And
he don't believe in his abilities. That's why with him, you gotta let the motherfucking hands go and use that distance. But he's not an athlete. He's not an athlete. He countered too much. Yeah, you can't be countering like that. Like when your chin suspect and you're not that confident, then you're offensively, he got some gift. But like
Hey.
you can't be a counter like that. You can't be a counter puncher like that. You got to be
Nah.
the one. You
Nah,
know
I
what
ain't
I'm
gonna lie.
saying?
I think he showed a chin that last fight. But like I say, he's not an athlete or a great like he's not a great boxer. So
He don't have
he'll
the experience to be a
yeah,
counterpuncher.
bro.
Just
This
yet.
guy will literally have his feet together. When you get hit, you're supposed to fall. You're supposed to fall. You know what I'm saying? You got your feet together. You're not even in a fighting stance, man. Like, what is you doing, bro? Deontay Wilder is like a master teacher at boxing compared to you. You know, I'm just saying, like, he made Deontay Wilder look like Pernell Whitaker.
I just think when you taller and you're not active and you're waiting to counter, when you got to look down at those little guys. Look at what happened with Fundora. That's exactly how. Like, if you're not active in using your length to keep this guy off, so where you see everything coming, right? If you let a guy get up under you and you hit you, you don't see it. You're more prone to go down because you don't even see it. You don't know where it's going to land. By the time it lands, you out of position and you out. So I think that he gotta be more active. He got some offensive gifts, you know what I'm saying, and he just don't. I don't think he got the belief in his abilities like that, and it's kind of hard at this stage to get it because he might have got touched a couple times in sparring, and he already know, man, I'm prone to go down. I can deliver this shit, but I can't take it like I did shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like most of the time, that's how it is.
But I just wanted to no, Johnny. I don't. I'm not convinced that the businessman is really back like that. And I'm just thinking, at the end of the day, a fight with him and Frank Martin is a fight that they can get out of the way, and it has some ramifications because should Frank Martin win, now he's building upon a knockout and then beating Keyshawn. You feel what I'm saying? As far as me saying what I was saying as when I was looking at the Lamont Roach situation with Frank Martin, I've heard in watching some videos and stuff like that of the aftermath of Frank Martin's knockout. There are people out there that believe Hitchens is the weakest champion at 140.
That's what they're going after.
He is. If not,
that's how they think.
Yeah, and they're saying that, you know, Frank Martin, if he's gonna do his thing and whatever, if you get a fast turnaround, you get another fight at 140 to really get yourself acclimated, and then get in it, make that fight with what's the name, or y'all both make the fights of saying, okay, we if it's a matter of cross promotions and things like that, you know, let's try to steer both of our fights on the same card. So you get past your guy, I get past my guy. We automatically got this thing locked in, yada, yada, yada. Cross promotion, if it is a cross promotion, me versus Richardson Hitchens. And I really don't have a problem with that fight. To be honest, looking at Frank Martin's last performance, his twitch reflexes, his footwork, those angles he was given, it's all gonna come down to his conditioning, because Africa can slow down the pace to whereas he can keep himself at a great pace. You feel what I'm saying? So that fight is, in my opinion, really, really interesting to me. Like when I'm hearing it, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, oh wow.
It is, but let me bring something to the forefront, man. I gotta say this, man. Out of all these guys, as cocky as all these guys, it seemed like Richardson Hitchens is the only one that can't be confident, man. It's like the dude is a champion. He just talking shit like everybody else with people. They don't treat him like that.
Yeah.
You know, what you gotta understand about Richardson Hitchens is that he's never fought somebody with an upside down record. He got it the hard way, and he did it through the IBF. So it's a little bit more than meets the eye. I think people put a little They're a little heavy-handed at that Lemos fight, but you gotta understand that was his first time with that under that IBF hydrating for that, so he wasn't himself as far as the weight. Like that's not like Fortune saying he ain't himself. He wasn't himself because he liked to get up to 153. He can only get up to 150 at that fight. So he's a champion now. He's a pure boxer, and he did it the hard way. He escaped motherfucking TMT. He's one of the only other success stories aside from Tank, Badu Jack, and Rolly, you know what I'm saying, of recent times to actually have success, you know. So I think that need to be in consideration. And he grew up with these guys. He grew up in the amateurs with Gary Antoine and Boots and Jermaine Ortiz and all that. So he's tenured, and you know what I'm saying, he's vetted. So I think people got to put some more respect on Richardson Hitchens' name. Now the Ghost is still the Ghost is a problem, you know. But I just find it odd because when I hear people talk about him, it's like everybody they pick and choose, and they really choose to just shit on Richardson. And I'm like, why?
Yeah, go ahead.
Other than him, you know what I'm saying, other than his skin complexion, I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? It's like this dude talk his shit just like everybody else, but everybody go out of their way to say, man, shut your black ass up and all this. It's like, man, y'all, we gotta stop that shit, man.
Yeah,
like, this dude is a champion. He went through the ringer. He always represented Brooklyn. He didn't go out here and cherry pick. He didn't get slid to the front of the line like that. Keyshawn, like, man, y'all would think Richardson, if he got on that path that they put Keyshawn on with that top ranked guy, y'all would think he was the best thing since sliced bread. Already seen one channel say that he might be the new, I ain't go this far, he might be the new Mayweather. I seen the channel saying that, but had he got on that top ranked guy and got pushed and maneuvered like Keyshawn, y'all would have thought he was.
Yeah.
He didn't do that. So people got to understand that when they talk about Richardson Hitchens. I just got to do this because I hear a lot of people, not just one channel in particular, but I hear a lot of different people carrying on like that. And I'm like, okay, so whoever beat him, don't you know that whoever beat him, if they are to get the credit, they're gonna say, oh well, he was the weakest one. Like, let's not create.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. And where I was in agreement with I forgot who I was looking at, but it was some random dude. I think it was my first time looking at his channel. I liked the fact that he was saying that in his opinion, Hitchens, in his opinion, to a certain degree, Hitchens is very, very underrated. You feel what I'm saying? That's why this one guy was saying that, you know, it's a good fight, and it would be somewhat good for Hitchens because now you're attaching yourself to someone who fought one of the face of boxing and stuff like that. And he got a boost off of it, and now the guy's coming off of a great stoppage, but by no means was the dude, I'm trying to remember his name, by no means was the guy saying that, you know, Frank Martin, if the next fight was Richardson Hitchens, he was kind of like saying, I don't think Hitchens win. He said, I don't think Frank Martin wins. I think Frank Martin may need another fight at 140 before he can actually go in there with a Hitchens. And I was like, yeah, I can kind of rock with you. Maybe one or two to actually get himself fully there. You know what I'm saying? But his movements and everything else look really, really sharp. But Hitchens is a technical, you know, that dude is, in my opinion, like a supercomputer. You know what I'm saying? One of them shits that you got to constantly keep cool under liquid nitrogen and shit like that, because it's so much technical information that's in there. And you know, his body work, you know, looks really, really impressive. And that's one thing Sandor Martin was trying to downplay him on. He was like, yeah, but who is what's the name, and the body work he was giving to him looked impressive, but really, who is George Kambosos? And I'm like, bro, I don't know, Sandor. I mean, like, bro, you talking heavy right there, man. So I don't know how you get there, bro, but if you get there, Hey, I want to see those fights, just like you saying you could beat these guys, and you're questioning everything. But I just felt it was interesting in the fact that um, people are now, because there's so much young talent, they're trying to come at Hitchens like he's not who he is, like he's not a real solid champion. And I'm just like, yeah, I hear y'all and all of that, but when y'all niggas get in the ring and y'all find out that motherfucker's jab, he can extend the shit out of that and keep touching you with it, you gonna feel something different.
Hey, like truly, anybody that's been watching Hitchens knows the rumors or the truth, one or the other, however you want to look at it, that he's like a great value Devin Haney, you know. So he's not the sensei, but he's probably the next best thing
Great
to Devin Haney. So with that being said, if a person doesn't like Devin Haney, you can't like Richardson.
No, but that's been my argument. I said, man, how y'all like Devin Haney, but y'all don't like Richardson? I always say the only difference between them two is opportunities. Richardson Hitchens hadn't had the opportunities that Devin Haney had. It's just point blank period. It's just
well, he's not. I ain't gonna lie. Nobody like the only difference is probably heart. Devin got a lot of courage. Devin got built. Let's be honest. You know?
Yeah, he got the mouthpiece, but then I think stylistically, I think Richardson is more coordinated, and I think he's more coordinated, and he has more power. I think that Devin, he'll get on the inside with you.
Somebody with 8 knockouts?
No, but I'm saying because you gotta think he ain't go down. If he would have did,
he never went to 135.
I gotta explain it. If he would have did what Devin did and went down to 35 again, y'all would have thought he was a monster. Y'all would be like, who the fuck is this Haitian motherfucker just running through her? He didn't do that, bro. He came in and went to 140, but him and Devin and them, they were the same size. Devin just went down to 35. He stayed at 40. He didn't fight nobody with no upside down record. He didn't go to Mexico and hold on, let me hear me out. He didn't go down to Mexico like Brian Norman and like Devin did. He got his shit out the mud. Like it from the beginning, he never fought nobody with an upside down record. He didn't go out. He went to 140 and he didn't never fight nobody with an upside down record. He started even, like fighting high level competition. He got shelved with TMT. He found his way out of that and got over to the match room. He has never been match made. He's never had a top rank guy. He hadn't had all of that. That's why people look at him like, who is this guy? He's been doing it against them like the Juan Bowsers, the Jean Jose Cepeda, who Regis Prograis got a belt off of. Like he's slept on. But the reason why I say more power is because if he would have went down to 35, he'd have been dropping them dudes. I do think Devin do more body work. You know, here this last fight, I seen Richardson Hitchens do some body work on Kambosos. But that's a part of the game. That's part of the game where, you know me, being body work, I say, man, you got to do some more body work. But I see him, like I always said, they was like two different sides of the same coin. You know what I'm saying? It's really just how you prefer. And like we just hadn't seen Richardson aligned across from the guy that we've seen Devin aligned across from.
Okay, can I say something real quick? I'm on boxing scene, right? And I was just going through the what's the name, and then that boxing scene is reporting Gary Antoine Russell in negotiation for 140-pound unification hints at Richardson Hitchens.
So it might be after this next one, because he got Andy Hirioka, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's after this one, because that's the same thing that Richardson Hitchens said. He said, well, he got this one coming up. I think he fight in February, and he said then he looking at a unification. So that sounds right to me. And I like it. I welcome. I like that. You know what I'm saying? I like that because look, yeah. Hey Calico, did you see Gary Antoine versus Puello?
Oh heck yeah.
See, when you got a skilled boxer, because I think Puello cold, man. I like Puello.
I
Like
like
he's cold. Like it's gonna take another surgical boxer. Because I kind of think Sandor Martin got him. You know what I'm saying? He did enough later on. But I think I thought, in my opinion, I thought he beat Sabro. I did. You know what I'm saying? But I see why crowd wise and all of that, you know what I'm saying, why they would, the business of boxing would say that. But Puello is cold, and he's a highly skilled boxer, like a pure boxer. So when these pure boxers get in there, it look different. Like some shit get neutralized. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's what happened. Like, cause I've never seen my man Gary Antoine look like that except for when it was with Puello. He was whiffing. Puello was like pivoting, and like that shit was so beautiful. Like the way he was pivoting, and like that defense was like, man. So when like it's interesting to know because I kind of give the edge a little bit to Gary Antoine because of the pressure, and I don't know if
initially I did too.
I don't know if Africa is gonna be able to take. I don't know where his chin at, but the fact that it's a unification, he ain't got to worry about that rehydration. So now the ball game is just like, okay. So now he really gonna have to see if he got Richardson gonna have to see if he got them cojones in there with Gary Antoine, because Gary Antoine gonna bring that pressure. But technically, Richardson Hitchens is a better fighter than Gary Antoine. He's better technically, and sometimes Gary do make that mistake. He was the other guy I was talking about as far as like T.O., like when they enter and they exit, it's something that they do where that's when you can time them, you know what I'm saying? But outside of that, Gary is gonna bring that pressure, and he got some power, you know what I'm saying? So if he catch you right, it could be over.
Exactly. See, Gary is gonna dictate the pace of the fight. You know?
Yeah.
And that performance against Rayo might have scared away guys like Richardson Hitchens, because we never saw that side of him. Like, me being a big Gary Antoine Russell fan, I started to get disappointed after the Puello fight, because I remember hearing him talk about he was compared to Sean Porter by family members before the fight, and he tried to, not be that or some shit.
Yeah.
And that's, he basically he didn't do what he does, because he does fight like Sean Porter, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. It's really not, because I know what it is for you, Calico, because it's kind of like the same thing with me. It's like he's nothing like Mr. Gary Russell. Exactly. Like they're two different. Like even though they southpaw, they're two different. Like and to a certain extent, Mr. Gary Russell, that man be pissed at Gary, but he know that Gary Antoine is just that. He's a motherfucking what you call it? He's a pressure cooker. Yeah. He's a high. He ain't gonna let you think. Like that's the danger with Hitchens. Like if you give Hitchens space, time, and distance, you know what I'm saying? Just like Shakur, space, time, and distance, they gonna pick you apart. Gary is gonna put you under that pressure. He ain't gonna let you think. And you gotta, you know what I'm saying? It's a high speed chess match under pressure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So but he's nothing like Mr. Gary. That's the problem. He's nothing like Mr. Gary, and that shit be pissing Mr. Gary off. He be like, listen, man. You could tell that he be wanting to impart himself on his brother, but he know his brother got his own style. So they just got to embrace it and work around it. But he try to tell him, he say, listen, man, be smart. He be telling them, be smart. You know what I'm saying? Don't be so brutish. Because that's why I call him the butcher. Because that shit, it look ugly, but he just going to break you down. You know what I'm saying? He going to cut you up. Like, he going to put a lot of pressure on you. And that's the interesting thing. So you probably look at it the same way I do, where it's like, damn, man, if he had a little bit more Mr. Gary Russell, it'd be damn near impossible. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, it'd be impossible then. but what I'm saying is that last fight against Rayo, like I've been tired of hearing Gary Russell always talking about going in his bag and he got a bag and this and that. I'm like, man, I'm tired of hearing this shit, bro. You ain't nothing but Sean Porter. But the nigga came out against Rayo and put down the best jab I've ever seen him attempt. Like he was putting it down the whole fight. It It didn't leave after round 5. No, he was still pumping that month, the whole time and really moving with the guy and not doing it the wrong way. He was doing things the right way. And I was impressed. I'm like, Gary can box. He don't have to be a A-level boxer. The problem is he can box. That's a fucking problem.
And I think,
but he knew that. He one of them guys to where, just like Abdullah, he got the skill set to do it. He just like to fight.
Yeah.
That shit go out the window. He get hit in the face. He like, fuck that.
Yeah, like I've seen guys talk in the gym, and they're like, I love boxing. I love to watch boxing. I love to train with boxing and stuff like that. But when I get in the ring, all I want to do is fight. And for me, it's like, I think that's probably where Gary Antoine is, where he's like, yeah, I know how to do all of that, bro, but that shit ain't it for me. I'd rather fight, because fighting, it's dirty. It's waking up the next morning and touching your cheekbone like, oh yeah, that's where that nigga caught me. You know what I'm saying? Some people just have that mentality, although they have the skill set to do anything and everything. And I think for me, this is Gary Antoine's comfortable space. But once he realized that, okay, I may be having to face some elite boxers at 140, so now I got to bring out this part of me and be the hybrid guy.
Yeah, I think it just dawned on him on this last fight.
And that's what I'm saying. He in his last performance after the loss, he was like, I gotta kind of hang up that Sean Porter just wanting to be in a fight and a dog and be that super entertaining guy, because at the end of the day, I still need to win.
Yes.
Yep.
So I moving forward, we just got to see. And right now, you've turned the corner. Now I want to see your next 2 fights, or even possibly 3. At that corner you turn, are you following the GPS, and now are you back on track to get into the destination you pre-programmed that GPS when you first started boxing? So that's where I'm at.
But look, I got something for you though, because we're gonna know if he's really on top of it the way he need to be, because this guy Andy Hirioka, he's not gonna be able to afford to make more than 1 or 2 mistakes in there, like with that dude. That dude can put your lights out. So he's gonna have to box, tenderize him, break him down, systematic, you know what I'm saying, and then pick his shots, and and then get him out of there, after he done figured him all the way out, you know what I'm saying, and because this guy, he can punch like this dude, and he will let his hands go, like, and he knows what he's doing, like. This is the dangerous fight, man. Very, very dangerous fight, and so we're gonna see, man, because he can't go in there all willy-nilly like a bull in the china shop with this dude. This dude will catch him, and he got enough power to change the game.
And Andy knows that if he can beat Mr. Gary Russell, he's moving in that Yuto Nakatani and Inoue type of category, to whereas he's gonna have a shitload of name recognition, and he could be up there with those guys as far as saying, yeah, he took out, in America we could see certain channels where they're talking about the guy he just beat was, one of the boogeymen of the division, and Andy just beat him. So,
and didn't run like Pollo.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, man, it's like Gary got some business. Gary got some business to take care of. like some serious business he needs to take care of and things like that. And I just want to see, for me, I saw you turn the corner. Are you going to stay consistent in that turn in your approach to Andy Hirioka? So that's where I'm at with it. I want to see his next fight, and then that's really, really going to tell me a lot of things that I'm looking for. And if he goes in there and he just makes this a one-sided event and things like that, I'm gonna be like, yeah, this dude is Gary is it. Gary's looking to step in and step out of the division and do what he got to do. And we'll see the ramifications after that. If Tio win, does Tio and Gary? Well, yeah, they on some friendship shit now. So I don't know.
But it's gonna come down, either Tio gonna be out, you know what I'm saying? But it's gonna come down to where they're gonna have to fight.
Yeah.
Like Gary always made it simple and plain that look, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, I'm cool. He calling me tweets and all that, but my whole goal is to get all of the titles, all of the belts. Like he really want to be undisputed for real. So I don't think he's gonna get off by the money or anything like that. So hopefully, now you gave me something to hope for. But I hope him and Hitchens get it on, man. That's what we need.
Yeah.
And let's leave off on this, y'all, because I do still want to put a bow on this, man. And I don't know, Calico. I know AC seen these interviews. Have you seen any of these interviews with Shakur lately?
Like I think I saw the one where he came on there where Ryan Garcia was already on the panel.
Yeah, that one, not that one. You didn't see that one with Cigar Talk, did you?
You mean Wally Stevenson?
I seen that. Yeah, we seen that, but Shakur had one with just him and Cigar Talk, not the one with Wally.
Nah, recently?
Yeah.
Nah, I ain't see it.
Okay.
No.
Well,
but I ain't gonna lie. Like I've heard that he was talking, like a grown man. Like people was telling me they were kind of impressed the way he's talking lately. Somebody said that was like one of his best interviews to date. I don't know.
Slightly, because he was being more of a mystic.
Okay.
More of a mystic, like to where he was. Well, I don't really want to speak on that, and I'll say this. So he was a little more careful with his words, but it was still the level of delusion in there a little bit. But but I mean, everybody, I guess I'm starting to realize that like the great ones, they have a level of delusion, bro. Like there's a level of delusion in there. This is what
that type of thing. Yeah.
Salute Aaron Jones.
That TBE energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but this is my question. He's talking about if he wins, he's going back down to 35. And like to me, I'm like, you'll just be messing up the division. Like, cause he's saying he's gonna win, leave that belt for Keyshawn to go get after him. And I'm like, boxing don't really work like that.
See, he's trying to do like Tank. Cause Tank went and beat Barrios, took the man belt and said, I don't even want the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then he went right back down to 135. Like, like, and people act like that wasn't even a great feat. Like, he didn't do nothing major. A guy that's 6'1", undefeated, and was beating Tank for at least 10 rounds.
Yeah.
Then got obliterated.
Or you could say he trying to do Big Brother thing when Bud went up when he was at 35 to I think was the British Prescott that he fought at 140 and then came back down. So I'm just like I don't like that move of going up there, doing that and then coming back down. For me, when I look at the landscape for Shakur, like I brought up earlier, you got dudes that really want that smoke with you at 35, and you got dudes that really want that smoke with you at 40. So you just got tough fights ahead of you, and the mere fact that you, for me, the mere fact that you spent that money on that, on those things, on your teeth and other things like that, and not get them phalanges taken care of because you didn't make any announcements that you took care of them. You said, yeah, your hands are good, but your grandfather just the day before was saying you have had hand issues for about 7 years and y'all still ain't took care of it. So I'm like, bro, you're playing a nasty game, and you're trying to walk through the door and tackle a whole new level.
Damn.
Yeah, I've been trying to ease up on core, man, but like that's why I'm just focused on the ring stuff. That's why I'm just focused on this Shakur fight, because like Aaron Jones said, it's still like he's still all over the place. He want to fight Devin, he want to fight Ryan, he want to fight Conor Ben. All them guys is like welterweights, you know what I'm saying? But he's saying he's going back down to 35. And see, this is what I'm saying about as far as like what I was going to try to close with is like best case scenario, worst case scenario. If Shakur wins at 40, do you think he changed his mind and he try to show that, okay, I'm that guy, and he stay at 40 because he was able to beat one, you know, he was able to take Teo out? If Teo wins, do we get a unification, or do he dare like do that dumb shit he was talking about? Because he talking about winning and trying to jump up to 60 to go fight Bud after
that. Teo
is that just a selling point? Like, because I'm saying, like, if we want to go somewhere and we want this shit to be meaningful, right? Like, because right now it's a great fight to where Shakur is finally getting to the weight division where I think he's supposed to be. Teo is finally getting another, he's getting the pay, he's getting an opponent. You know what I'm saying? This is going to show where Teo is at right now at this point in time in his career. So it's a crossroads fight, you know, a GPS kind of fight that where we figure out where both of these guys are. The thing is, if either one of them win, are we going to be in a better position or a worse position? Because they're going to be having, you think they got egos now, their ego going to get even bigger, right? And then they're going to turn the division into a circus act.
Yep.
I personally think if Teo wins, he's going to call out Devin Haney at 147 or Ryan Garcia at 147. Here's my logic behind it. When I forgot what fight it was that we were talking about and stuff like that. It might have been Teo when he was talking about fighting Boots when that was being rumored.
Yeah, he was.
Teo or Canelo's team or somebody was leaking these videos of a big ass Teo working with Canelo, and for me, his size and stuff like that, I was like, damn, if this nigga going to 47 looking like that, he looked big as fuck. Like that dude just like he looked like Pitbull, but in shape, like with the head, the neck, the back spread. I was like, he might look good as hell at 47, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, the sound of them punches off them pads and things he was doing had a nice thud to it and shit like that. So I'm a dude that's like, if you beat Shakur, do what you say you're gonna do and go up to 47, and you feel what I'm saying, and go chase the rest of that young smoke up there, and you know, conquer another division. Because if you go ahead and you do that, and let's just say you go up there and you fight Devin, right? Between you and Devin at that particular point, it's still going to come down to the winner of that fight is going to be the next undisputed champion at 147 pounds. And that's kind of the way I see it.
I ain't gonna lie, at this pace, that fight will be for undisputed, because Haney will at least have 3 of the 4 belts. You know? So man, oh man. Like these guys are becoming prima donnas. You know, Shakur, this Shakur and Teo fight will help ruin boxing. It's not going to benefit boxing. like I said, even if T.O. loses, it's not gonna be the ass whooping that I requested. You know, so it ain't gonna be no benefit. Like you say, it's gonna reignite Shakur Twitterson. You know, like he's gonna get on his keypad and go bananas and talk about it for a year instead of fighting. And so with T.O.
But they got the funny thing is, because I had to check it, they got Keyshawn right there, number 1.
So that means Turkey need to pay him that bag to fight each other.
So let's say Shakur do that. One, Keyshawn gonna have to fight somebody, and that would have to be Frank Martin. They would have to figure out a way to make that for Frank or somebody like that. Like,
yeah, because Frank want to fight both of them. Frank don't like both of them.
Yeah. So because they got, let me see. I'm just gonna read this. They got that dude. I don't know why they got his name wrong. Alberto Santiago, the dude who Devin fought when he first got that belt from Loma. They got Delgado in there, which he's overrated to me. They got Duarte, he's decent. They got Puello in there. They got Barbosa in there. They got Vargas in there. You know what I'm saying? They got that Vargas. They got Emiliano in there, the El General. I don't know who this dude Fanion is. They got Cedeno in there, Adam Mazin, Jermaine Ortiz, a guy named Rafferty. They got Antonio Moran, Tito Mercado, and Abu Bakari. But Moran and Mercado getting ready to get on. It's gonna be interesting, but I mean, I hope they don't try to get it. I hope they don't try to give it to Keyshawn after fighting Albright. That'll be lame as hell, man.
That'll be nasty.
Exactly.
That'll be nasty.
We'll see, man. I hope he just keeping his options open, man, because I think these guys be knowing the plan. They just don't let us know. But it's interesting because I'm pretty sure the way T.O. is looking at it, if he is the win, that's a pelt on the wall, and then he's going to go and this is what he's going to do. He's going to always put himself in a situation where if he lose after this point, he was daring to be great. Like jumping up and trying to fight somebody like Boots or Bud or somebody, because if he lose, the excuse is already built in. I was just daring to be great. I'm trying to make boxing great again. So from here on out, that's what I think he's going to do. When I wish he would just look to his left and his right and try to unify all the belts.
Yep.
But that's just me though, y'all. But good cooking, y'all. Good points. How y'all want to land, man?
Good fights coming up this weekend, bro. Good fights coming up. I definitely want to see Mercado, what he's looking like, and I want to see what Pacheco is looking like. See if he advanced. He's if he cleans some stuff up, if he's a little bit more tighter and stuff like that. And after that, I think we have maybe one more fight coming up later in the week, and closer to Christmas or whatever, and then we looking at 2026. So it's been a good year in boxing. Let's see how this last card or cards pan out, and see what 2026 got to bring. And that's where I land my plane, man. But I'm super excited about these fights that are coming up this weekend, and I definitely am excited about the T.O. and Shakur fight.
Yo, hey, I know I probably want to leave on this note, just stir up the pot a little bit. Excuse me. But I know a lot of people ain't gonna want it, but I still want it because I wanted it immediately after I saw it the first time. And I'm gonna just, piggyback off that interview at the Frank Martin fight. Errol Spence was in the crowd, of course, and the interviewer accidentally slipped a question in there, because he asked him. He said how much you win nowadays? He said, oh, I'm 165 right now. and the interviewer asked him, so would you be interested in going to 168 and fighting Crawford? And he was saying, hell yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
You feel me? And man, bro, we wanted it at 54. And I don't know what the fuck was wrong with Crawford playing all them games. He had like he was gonna stay at 147 forever. Then all of a sudden, after you turned down Spence at 154, because you said, nah, the rematch gonna be at 47.
Yeah.
You know, right after that, you go fight Madrimov, the best fighter at 154. And then you go up and do
some people that was keeping track of that shit, man. I stopped talking about it because I'm like, I'll be offending people, but I'm like, it's the fucking truth, man.
Yeah, it is, man. You feel me? Like bro, I ain't gonna lie. Crawford is living Spence's dreams. Huh? Like, after he beat Spence, he went and lived Spence's dreams, going to 154, becoming the champion, then going to fight Canelo. Because he was the only guy talking about fighting Canelo. It wasn't Charlo, it wasn't Crawford. None of these little guys were talking about going to fight Canelo one day, except for Errol.
That's right.
And I think it would be so vindicating if he could just go in there and put up a greater effort, show us what we thought the fight should have looked like, win, lose, or draw. Just give us a better performance, and I think that'll put him back on, a stratosphere that he belongs. Because he definitely don't. He's just not there because of one loss. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
You feel me? So,
yeah, man.
Win or lose, if he just go in there and really give us that Hagler Hearns epic ass fight, then everybody appreciate him for the rest of history. You
definitely shook up the pot with that one, man. I wasn't thinking about that, but yeah, man. Yay. You right though. I just want my guy. I want my guy to get his feet wet, man, because I don't want to see what I saw with Mike Tyson and Roy. I want him to come back and get like me. I'm advocating for a cherry right now. I'm like, I know you don't do tune-ups, man. Just get you a do what Keith Thurman did. He got him
See, I wouldn't say nothing that cherry because Spence want to do something great, even if it ain't a Crawford type guy. He might say, I want Canelo too, or whatever the case. And you can't just go from a super bum to that level.
Yeah.
You gotta go at least from a C to a B.
Yeah, you right. I mean, I can't protect them. They gonna do what they do. I'm just saying logically, But you right. I mean, you right. I can't even argue with that, man. But good cook, man. I appreciate
definitely, man. I appreciate y'all,
Calico. I appreciate your contributions, A2, man. I hope y'all have a wonderful evening, man, and the rest of y'all week. We gonna cook again, though.
Yes, sir, for sure.
All right, man. Peace. Yeah. Well, yeah, man. Let me just give my closing thoughts, man. I don't want the message to get misconstrued, right? I ain't see that one day. I think Frank Martin and Jermaine Ortiz need to fight for the entry spot because they're ranked neck and neck. That's a good point. It need to be somebody valuable. It can't be no string bean. You know what I'm saying? Like getting that shot. This is not a foregone conclusion. Let's just say Shakur win and he do what he say and he dropped that belt. I hope they don't just let Keyshawn fight anybody to get that belt. You know what I'm saying? It need to be a Frank Martin, a Jermaine Ortiz, somebody that, is tenured, somebody that, is about that action. So I do agree with that. But we were just doing some post-fight analysis, like some worst-case scenarios, Shakur win, T.O. win, what happened. We're definitely not shitting on the fight. I know me personally. I think that the fight is lit. You know what I'm saying? I like the fight. That's why I say I'm peeling back from Shakur. I'm going to stop, I'm going to get off his back. I'm going to stop, pressuring him so much because he's doing something that I want him to do. One, by going to the weight class that he should be in. Two, fighting somebody that is a real threat, who happen to be one of the four kings. So I have nothing bad to say about Shakur right now. Outside of me having my little criticisms about the interviews and the things that people say, like just like everybody else. That's it, man. But I like the fight. You know, I know T.O., he's gonna do something wild and crazy, something outside of the box. When it comes to like winning, you know, but I'm trying to put my bygones aside from T.O. and the things that he said. It's just kind of hard, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. And so I hope he, you know, let go all of that jargon. That's not good promotion. He, like Calico said, he did have real black fans. That was his fan base. Like, people fuck with T.O. the long way. You know, even Gary Antoine, he still fuck with him. He said, nah, I'm gonna have to pull him to the side and talk to him. And he said he talked to him and figured out that that was his bad idea of promotion. But he got to understand that he fucked with a lot of people's feelings when he did that. So hopefully he put that to the side. Like me, since I do content, I'm trying to put that to the side and look at T.O. in the light in which he should be looked at. I understand he was getting fucked over at the money. I understand he also did some things that kind of fucked his own money over. You know, hopefully, you know, he can go in there and put on the show, may the best man win. But it's simple math. If the guy shows up, if the T.O. that gets up for big fights show up, he's gonna shock the world and beat Shakur. If Shakur sticks to his guns and just does what he do, whereas a win is a win is a win, where he's gonna get up and he's gonna be calculating and he's never gonna allow T.O. to catch up to him, he's gonna win. It's real simple. You know what I'm saying? This is Fruits and Veggies, not that Reggie. Fact-based content, not opinion-based. Silence is consent is the motto for the channel, which means all it takes for evil to prevail is for men and women to remain silent. So we speak to those things. We have our opinions, but they're always based around facts. Hopefully you was able to put something in your rucksack and march on from this show, but I appreciate you. Let me see. I think Shakur is too disciplined and too sharp for any T.O. that shows up. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's gonna be one of them things to where I say objects do perform differently when they're being observed. These are some big, bright, white, hot lights. You know what I'm saying? So, well, we're gonna see, man. They gotta show up and fight. That's why they gotta fight the fights, man. But that's all I have for y'all, man. I appreciate everybody who came through, man, and rock with your boy. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga? Right? Oh, okay. You want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to